And I guess tomorrow the big one is Berrettini Sinner. And as John already told you in the chat,
But you were going to
I
say
will be
Nakashima
doing
versus
this.
Thompson, man. Come on. No.
Um,
Second year in a row.
yeah, I mean, if we're going left field, then Paul Virtanen is probably my favorite match tomorrow. But
Yeah.
for now, let's talk about the big one. Sinner Berrettini. This is going to be a guys should be invited, feel invited for that. Yeah, I mean, after the first scenario yesterday, after their respective first rounds, do you feel more confident in the upset or less confident in the upset?
Exactly the same as I was before. Like literally exactly the same. Like no difference.
That's what
I
Mario
still
said
think
as well. That's why my reaction was like this, because Mario said the same.
like exactly the same. In fact, like yeah, like because like also Berrettini also had a similar physical wobble, right? Like he had
Both
the
of
back,
them had it, right? Yeah, and
and so
that's the
Sinner
thing.
also
Yeah.
had it. So like if they both have it, that doesn't change. That just takes us back to where we were before. So no, I would say the same. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be somewhat close, entertaining, but I don't really believe in the upset. I just don't. It's like Sinner is just too reliable for me. Still, I will say Sinner in 4 sets. That's my prediction.
The expertise
Easy.
on the grass court that I saw from Berrettini in the first round, other than set three when he was obviously struggling, and then later on as well after he took the painkillers. But then again, yeah, as you said, I mean, they both had their issues. I really don't know if Matteo playing at such an increased intensity, even compared to the Fucsovics match, will be able to hold up enough to win 3 sets. I know that Matthew, for
Yeah.
example, doesn't believe in it at all. And well, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Alex says that Shapo against Altmaier should be entertaining. I believe that Shapo should win
Mm,
this
yeah,
super
Shapo
easily.
should
Like,
win straight sets. I think.
yeah.
I think he should be able to get through. Were you surprised that he beat Jari in straights? I was surprised that it was
Well,
straights. I was surprised that he won.
I mean, given that we had zero info on sort of Jari before the event, and people said that he kind of showed up for the money in a way. Although the
Mhm.
last 2 sets, I don't know, he seemed to have be making it competitive at least. But I don't know if I can say I was surprised, given we just had no info. So like
Mhm.
neither result was gonna surprise me, I guess. But the matchup generally I consider favorable. I guess a bit favorable for to Jari. So maybe, yeah. Does
Yeah.
Sinner struggle with a slice or is it a non-issue? Generally not. I think on grass he might still, but like not more than other players. I think
Yeah,
he's just
definitely not.
gonna be well. If Matteo uses it intelligently, then he's gonna be good with it. But it's not gonna be because Sinner struggles with it. I don't think.
Yeah. I mean, he has to make sure he really hits it really nicely in the corner. Otherwise, Sinner can also just run around it pretty quickly. He has good footwork right now, and he's
Yeah.
just looks very sharp recovering in the corners. So, yeah. Um, and also like the return game of Sinner, and like just how compact his strokes are. It's gonna be tougher than usual for Berrettini to just race through service games, and I could just see kind of a similar type of matches that like Sinner's been playing in Hala, where it's like feels pretty competitive, like on the scoreboard, but then like actually like in the tie breaks or in the big points, I could just really see Sinner
Sinner was
elevate.
Sinner Struff was competitive. Sinner
Yeah,
Hurkacz was
like
not. Well, after the first set, but Sinner Struff
mm,
was competitive, like actually competitive.
mhm. I think I'd believe more in the upset. Actually, this is one where like I would say like the lead in really helped Sinner, because like if let's say like Sinner lost one of those matches earlier in that week, like let's say he lost to Greek Sport or he lost to Struff, I'd have more question marks. I might believe in the upset a little bit more, just because we didn't see him beat that type of molded player, and he kind of needed that really good week in Hala. I still think so. Yeah,
I'll be true to what I said about Alcaraz losing early in Queens. I don't
maybe
think
that's
my
just because he's drawn Berrettini, but if he had not drawn,
yeah
if he let's say he had a more cozy draw, then I would agree. But like I just think
yeah.
hitting
I
how well
feel
he
I
did.
think that even with withdrawing Berrettini, I feel the same about a possible upset, regardless of how Sinner did in Halle, unless he had some serious physical issues losing in Halle, of course. But like yeah, just yeah. If he lost to well, maybe not Marozsan, but if he lost to Struff in the quarters, I would probably feel like the exact same as I'm feeling right now. But yeah, we'll see. I guess. Is there a chance for Otto Virtanen to beat Tommy Paul?
I think there's a little bit of a chance. Like it's
Me
not.
too. Me too.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, Martinez also was able to get a set there and in the third, and I don't know. I mean, I think Berrettini can be quite dangerous.
Number 10, Mirandreva. Number 9, Madison Keys. Number 8 is Victoria Azarenka. Number 7, Raketa Vondrusheva. Number 6, Ons Jabeur. Number 5, Jessica Pegula. Number 4, Coco Gauff. Number 3, Iga Swiatek. Number 2, Arina Sabalenka. And number 1, Elena Rybakina.
Ready? Play.
My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Sammaz, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
You've been to the French Open final. Your breakthrough, at least standout result at the beginning of your career was on grass against Venus. You've been very solid on the hard courts. Is there a slam in particular that you go, I think that's, if I'm going to get one, the first one might come here, there, or where?
Well, I don't know. I mean, everyone, I'm like, I think this is the first one. So I don't know. I mean, obviously now going to the French, I do have a lot of confidence on the surface, but I'm not really thinking about that. I feel like, in the past I was, and it gave me some like defeats that I feel like I shouldn't have lost, maybe more so my head. So going in now, I mean, I feel like, everyone could be the one, but I think I have to just take it a match at a time and just feel it out and enjoy it. I think when you focus too much on the destination, you don't enjoy the journey there. So now I want to focus more on the journey, and if the destination gets there, that's great.
Ready? Play.
Hello guys, finally. Are you ready? Because I'm definitely ready. Jannik Sinner is about to serve first against Matteo Berrettini. I think he's now had like 2 lets in a row. I have to say already, stop it with the Tommy Paul slander, because he is playing Otto Virtanen, and that's a very, very tough draw. Otto can definitely beat anyone on the day, and he's been playing amazing today. I will also be keeping an eye on that for sure. Yeah, also hello Julian, who earlier said hello Damien, although he didn't probably realize that I was just talking of the replay. There was something from Ashley as well about Tommy Paul in the chat, but I didn't really understand the question, to be honest. It was like, yeah, Tommy Paul is top 10 player. Damien Will has this chat last week, so I'm not really sure. But anyway, Emma Navarro indeed defeated Naomi Osaka pretty quickly, and that's why we're even watching Jannik Sinner right now, because there was a chance that it was going to start much later. But here we are, because Emma Navarro just completely blew Osaka off the court. Anyway, Jannik Sinner, Matteo Berrettini, of course, it's quite a story. It's one of the best second round clashes you can really imagine, because Matteo, to me, is, I don't know, like a top 10, top 15 contender for this title. as it turns out, they are going to play in the second round. Obviously, Matteo was unseeded, so there was limitless possibilities really about his draw. He ends up getting Sinner in round 2, which, well, is brutal for both guys.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Otto has just broken back in the 4th.
Fantastic.
So he's 2 sets to 1 up, and it's on.
I said it, Matthew, yes, that I will be gunning for you if Berrettini does something today. So, of course, I remember that, and I definitely will, because I've seen a lot.
It was mentioned last night. I think you mentioned it. I think you mentioned Matthew last night, even if he wasn't here.
I don't remember that. Yeah, maybe I was mentioning as an example of someone who thinks that it's like it's gonna be Sinner in 3 easy. Maybe that's what I said, right? Yeah. I think so. Yeah. I think that happened. Yeah, indeed. So even though you weren't here, you were on my mind, and yeah, I hope that Matteo is gonna prove you wrong in the sense that, well, he's gonna make this a match. It would be a big shame if this was not competitive. So far, first game goes to Sinner. Not much of a scare, although he did lose 1 point.
Can Sinner find the Berrettini backhand pretty easily, on this surface, and as easily as someone like Novak or Rafa can?
I don't think on this surface it matters that much that you find the Berrettini backhand, because he has the slice.
Yeah.
And, well, I mean, we'll see about that. Obviously, it might also be that when he finds the slice, he just wins all of the points, really. But we know that Matteo can utilize that, like, offensively especially. He can utilize it so well. Kinda might be the story of how much he can actually utilize it on the defense as well. And, of course, how well he serves. Because even if I always say that the Berrettini success on grass is not just serve, that's obviously a big part of it. And, well, I mean, that's kind of how he has to approach this match, right? Just win every single service game possible and then look for these opportunities, perhaps by getting back into points with that slice. There was something in the chat as well about all these 5-setters on the men's side, and yeah, it's definitely not going to help the scheduling for tomorrow.
Court 1 was
doubles match as well.
Court 1 was empty for like
center.
4 or 5 hours last
yesterday.
Night.
Yeah. I think they're just afraid of tarnishing the grass in any way, but
really,
I think that's the thing, right?
Put one more women's match on that court last night. It messes up the grass. So they think 3 matches in one day.
I think they just want to have it look much better, for the rest of the tournament. I think that's the idea, because otherwise it's just plain stupid, obviously.
But it doesn't make any sense, because let's say they had 3 matches yesterday that all went the distance.
Yeah.
And let's say there was 10 hours of tennis on that grass, or 12 hours, or whatever it is.
Yeah, but like this is variability you cannot really plan for. Like, this is something that throughout the week is going to go up and down. And of course, there will be some years when the action on that court 1 is like just very heavy. But there also will be some years when it's a bit lighter. Yes, sure. But that's not something you can plan for. I'm assuming you're saying that yesterday the action was pretty smooth, so you put on another match. But then, yeah, maybe tomorrow or like today, there's a very long match there, or a long match.
Isn't it okay to prepare the tournament and think, okay, we could have 10 hours every day on this court?
I mean, if Wimbledon was thinking in general, they would be having 4 matches on center court and court 1 every day, because they start
that's not a decision.
Times.
I know, but that's not a decision because of the grass. Yeah, I know, but that's not a decision taken because of the grass. That decision is taken because of the glitterati, or for better a word, want to have their breakfasts and champagne and stuff. That's why that decision. It's got nothing to do with the grass.
And that's ridiculous.
Of course it is, yeah. So I think, therefore, that also eliminates the possibility that they want to protect the grass by giving it 5 hours of rest last night.
I mean, then what's the reason?
There's just disorganized. There's not enough people that are able to take decisions.
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I do.
I don't buy that, as they had like so much time to put on matches, and obviously they moved the matches away, so on 2 other courts as well. So like Jaber Uchima, for example, was put on court 14. So decisions like this were made. But for some reason, court 1 and center court were basically taken away from that potential pool of courts.
Yeah.
And,
I think you have far too much faith in the people running the sport.
I mean, you know, clearly they moved other matches. So for some reason, the courts were away from that pool. And, you know, what the reason is, I don't know. But it's not just, yeah, we forgot we have court 1.
I mean, I guess there's another, well, that's Laura Robson taking that decision, but yeah, I mean, so other courts will just get overused, I guess. I mean, maybe
Other
there's
courts don't matter because for the rest of the week, I mean, the second week, they're going to be used for junior events and stuff. They're not going to be on TV, right?
Sure.
Thoughts on Raducanu, says Matthew. Should we get excited? Yes. I mean, I was just looking at that quarter, you know, and the only seeds there is Sakkari, number 9, clearly very fragile. Pavlyuchenkova, 25, fragile as heck. 28, Yastremska, probably the most fragile because she can just blow herself off the court in any match.
Yeah.
And also Kasatkina, who is a problem. Of course, Kasatkina outplayed Emma quite easily just last week. But, you know, that's a quarterfinal opponent for Emma. So
right. So let's hope for Emma's perspective, she goes out. I think that Kasatkina not making that quarterfinal is very possible. If it's Emma versus Kasatkina in that quarterfinal, memories of that match from just last week will come back.
I mean, she's not doomed to lose against Kasatkina.
No, she's not doomed to lose.
I don't think she would be considering herself doomed as well. But yeah, I mean, that's a quarterfinal. So like, that's not really something you have to worry about for now. If it happens that they meet again, I mean, of course, that will already be a very satisfying result for Emma and kind of, you know, like a free hit maybe in a way. Although by the time you're in the quarterfinals, you're not really treating anything like a free hit, I guess, regardless of who you are. But yeah, the next 2 rounds at least look very doable. I think she's the favorite over Sakkari and all the other players really there. So today's performance was so much better than round 1. So it is giving you a lot of hope. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Alexandrova, of course, that was a real lucky break for her. I think the fact that she got
absolutely that changes the entire tournament from being a 50-50 to make it to round 2. And by the way, I'm saying 50-50, but others would say 40-60 in from Emma's perspective, to then being a 50-50 to make round 4 the quarterfinals. That's how big a change that situation is for me. By the way, Tommy Paul's going to serve to stay in the match. I've got the Paul match on my screen just because I know that you'll be a few seconds ahead regarding Sinner Berrettini. Yeah. There was by the way, there was about health or 5 setters. Maybe it was Berrettini related. I can't remember. But anyway, no, I don't know. I had a question for you, but I don't remember what it was now. It was a good question. It was a good question.
I'm glad it was a good question.
And it wasn't to do with animals playing tennis. We had I posed the question about which animal, this is in the previous stream, which animal would be the best tennis player? And if we could go for a non-ape-like animal, that would be even better.
Yeah, I know that they taught like gorillas to do some ridiculous things. So I also think that apes are probably the best.
Yeah, right. But if we could sort of rule out that, and then do they have to hold a racket? And I guess they can't be an animal that needs to basically be surrounded with water, i.e. a dolphin who could maybe...
I mean, they have to hold a racket, you know. I don't care if it's in their mouth or if it's in their hands. But
I guess so, yeah, because really the tennis rules, you can't...
I mean, you cannot play a ball with your hand, so...
No, right. So therefore that rules out a large amount of animals.
I hope that wasn't a good question. I hope that wasn't a good question.
Vatanen, no, that wasn't a good question. Vatanen hitting that ball so early, and it's love 15 on the Tommy Paul serve. Serving to stay in the match.
Otto is just like laser focused today, and he was as well against Purcell. He's like even outplaying Tommy off the ground a lot of the time. Like, yeah, it's just everything you would ever want from a Vatanen match, just on the big stage. And of course, he also had to save 8 match points in the qualifying, which is always worth mentioning. So far, definitely Sinner is getting a lot of returns in, which in the sense of like making this match competitive, it's not exactly what we want. In the first game, Matteo got out of it though. There was this nice serve and volley. I think he also like disrupted one of the points with the slice. So we'll find out soon if he can just keep holding and maybe put on some pressure at some point. But yeah, lots of 5-setters indeed. Of course, Aurelia, Seaman, Kokinakis right now in one. Kecmanovic possibly heading into another
What's happening
one.
with Felix and Kokonakis?
Fifth set. I think they're still on serve.
Oh, on serve, okay.
Yeah. Sonego Bautista Agut maybe another 5-setter in the making. So yeah, it's not gonna be easy, definitely, to have this event running over the next few days, sort of, and catch up. But I think on Friday it's also supposed to rain. That would actually suit me because I might be out on Friday later in the day, but we'll see. I might be rooting for that rain on Friday though.
I mean, that's the other thing, I guess, if you're a part of that committee deciding on switch, you'd look at the rest of the week and see how the weather is. And if you're looking at sort of 10 days of dryness, likely, let's say from Saturday onwards.
They're not, though. Like in this case, they're not.
Wow.
I mean, it's London, right? I mean, when did you ever have like 10 days of dryness?
Yeah. Tommy Paul has held after going love 15 down, so it's 5-all. He looks in pretty good spirits. He doesn't look like a guy who should be pretty tense, bearing in mind he was 3 points away from defeat.
Matteo also held on the back of like 3 extremely good serves. So far, it's good. Obviously, there are these both like both guys had these physical nibbles in the first round. Berrettini, you kind of expected. Sinner, you might be a little bit more worried.
Sinner had some issues
today. We'll find out
in the first round. Sinner had some issues physically in the first round.
Yeah. That third set, he was super slow to the ball, and I'm not really sure what it was about, but I think he had like it was again like sort of hip-ish area, I think. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And Berrettini, of course, had that back thing. When he was treated, he was actually very poor for a set, but then the painkillers kicked in. I think especially Berrettini, after that round 1, he just probably spent 2 days straight on the massage table and was just trying to get his rehab done before this one. And I don't know, maybe it's worked, maybe it hasn't. Hopefully that's not a factor at all in this match, and we'll just be watching a really nice clash from start to finish. So far it's okay, but of course it's just 4 games.
Don't do it now, but someday, everybody, check out Roy Keane's takes on masseuses, people who do massages. What are they? Physiotherapists, I guess. It's very funny. But Oshin, by the way, I've not seen you before. Welcome to the show, and do hit that subscribe button just below the screen. That would be a big help. Just in terms of, let's say, let's go for, let's say Berrettini wins. Is that good for the tournament?
Berrettini defeating Sinner for the tournament. No, I guess the best thing for the tournament would be Sinner winning this in 5 sets, right? Just, give us a classic, but Jannik stays in the event. Obviously, that would allow them to just, keep working with him in terms of marketing the event, marketing the matches, and just in general, if we have the potential of a Sinner Alcaraz semi as well, of course, that's amazing for the event. So, yeah, I think, in that sense, sure, it would be better for Sinner to win in 5.
If Alcaraz had won Queens, would he have maintained his world number 2 ranking?
Yes. I don't remember if the final was enough or not, but definitely if he won. I mean, he was defending winner points, so.
Yeah. So that's the answer to your question, Oshin. Basically, Carlos going out early in Queens, having won it last year, cost him the number 2 ranking and therefore the number 2 seed at Wimbledon, pushing him down to number 3. And then we had the likelihood or the possibility of him and Jannik being the same half, which became an eventuality.
I guess it would have been even funnier if he actually landed in that 3rd quarter, though, because it's pretty open. Although maybe it's not even more open from his perspective, because especially if you get Tommy Paul out today, and it's pretty close to that, then Alcaraz doesn't really have any threats in the 2nd quarter, it seems.
You don't think do you think Tommy Paul is a bigger threat than Virtanen? Yeah, I guess so, especially given
I mean, just in terms of getting there, do I trust Otto to actually make the quarters?
Oh, right, yeah, true.
And also the matchup for Carlos over the years against Tommy has not been that easy. So, yeah, I do think that Tommy would be a bigger threat than Virtanen. I think Virtanen can play as well as Tommy, on the day, or at least in patches. Just, I don't think I can trust him to make the quarters, actually.
An epic break point ends with a Tommy Paul break, so he's going to serve for the 4th set.
Well, Tommy might stay in the event. And well,
He
that
likes
will
5
see,
sets,
like,
doesn't he, Tommy?
someone who can beat Carlos Alcaraz.
I always feel like Tommy's in a 5-set match in the early rounds. Did he not do 2 or 3 back-to-back in New York, maybe last year or the year before?
When he lost to Rude eventually in 5, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know.
What starts, here we go, here's a question for you. This is not the one. What starts on the 1st of July 2024 and ends on the 3rd of July 2024? Casper Ruud's grass court season.
It's pretty good, pretty good. I mean, that's probably also when Casper Ruud took grass for the first time, like when he actually stepped on grass for the first time.
Yeah.
Given that, well, he probably wasn't even practicing.
We didn't even see him play golf this year, I don't think. I don't know what
Oh,
he was.
actually, yeah. I mean, he probably did at some point. I mean, they all like it, you know. These
do, yeah.
fancy,
Yeah.
fancy rich guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, golf can be a sport for, let's say, not for the rich as well. If it's like mini golf somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. Like in Mallorca, I saw some stag parties or something very similar to stag parties playing mini golf. Berrettini 2-3. Did you say Berrettini's had to save a break point, or just was in a bit of a stick?
No. I mean, definitely Sinner is getting more returns in, but there were 215 alls, now Love 15 actually, but so far Matteo is doing okay. What's your reaction to?
Love 15, a nice passing shot that was probably aided and abetted by a clip on the net that Virtanen's apologizing for, but in a way it's one of those that he did so well to get to and produce the angle on it that he did, that I'm almost like quite impressed that he won the point, even if it did just clip the net on the way over. So it's love 15 on the Paul serve, so it's nothing too dramatic. By the way, Eddie is a good one for just doing exclamations at points. And I'm like, Eddie, what's happened? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, 30-15 now Berrettini. There was another quick +1 point. As long as this match is obviously looking like it, that suits Matteo. If it's like quick points and he's still winning a lot of them. The second serve looked pretty exceptional too. Jannik is kind of looking at the court. Maybe the bounce wasn't the best. I'm not sure. But
I think
yeah, it looks like Berrettini will get another one. We're definitely looking at it more from like a Berrettini perspective, you know. Can he get another game? Can he keep it close? Because I mean, that's the reality. He's the underdog.
Tommy Paul's girlfriend, I think we've just seen in the audience.
Oh, the famous one now.
Famous one. What a point that ends with a Tommy Paul diving volley. But to be honest with you, both players were like stretched to the limit there. It was only 4 or 5 shots. But on every one, including the return of serve, it's like, wow, how did he get a racket on that? How did he manage to get it floating back over the net? How is Tommy Paul going to deal with that? Tommy Paul deal with it in basically the perfect way, clipping the line. But then Virtanen somehow pulls off what looks to be a passing winner shot. And Tommy Paul does a diving volley and says, no, you're not winning this point, my friend. 30-15.
Not surprised. I mean, I watched 3.5 sets of that match, and it's been like this. Yeah. It's just been exceptionally good, and you never really get this from Otto. Looks like Berrettini will clinch it. The previous point had something funny, though. He actually went for a one-handed backhand. I think he contemplated the slice for a long while, and then he didn't even have the chance to regrip. And yeah, he actually got it over the net. I think he lost the point. But yeah, now a quick, nice, like a +1 forehand followed to the net. Nothing crazy. Obviously, I also said something about this on like a stream or a day or two ago, that like Berrettini on grass is like a master of simple patterns. And well, so far he is doing that very well.
Tommy Paul takes the set with an unreturnable serve. So we are going into a 5th set. How am I so far ahead? I mean, it's all dependent, Terry, on the tournament and more significantly, the service provider. So for this one, I'm using Amazon Prime in Germany, and the stream is pretty efficient. When I've got other slams, the Discovery stream is pretty good, but still not as fast as some others. And basically, the one when I'm most behind is for the rest of the tour when I'm using Sky Sports.
Sean also points out that Sinner record against Italians. Yeah, he's like 12-0 or 13-0. This is one of these like useless stats that like
Oh
they're
yeah.
they are pointed out by the media accounts and stuff, but like they don't actually mean
It was something like when he lost did Djokovic lose 3 times in a row to Italians, and it was only 2 different Italians, I think, or something. It's the most irrelevant thing ever. It's at some
and
time,
congratulations on the job as well, Jake.
Oh, Jake's got a job, has he? Oh, okay. I knew that he sort of had a couple of interviews. Cool.
I was like Raducanu in the second interview, couldn't put a foot wrong.
Jake, are you going to be the Felix of events, as in like you're brilliant at indoors?
Oh,
because he's got a security job working at indoor events.
Maybe
he got offered one at outdoor events, and he's like, "Sorry, I don't perform so well outdoors."
Yeah, I'm Otto Virtanen, I'm Leandro Ridi, I'm Felix Auger-Aliassime.
They're showing this diving volley from Tommy Paul.
That's a really good 5-setter. One of the matches of the day for sure. Hopefully it stays like that and it's not
Kokkinakis has won.
Clowning. Yeah, Kokkinakis has won, and was it like 4 match points yesterday for Felix? I think it was.
Did he? Yeah, in the third set was that or fourth?
Yeah, third set.
Yeah.
They only like began the 4th set, like it was like 2 games before they restarted today. So yeah, Kokkinakis saved about I think 4 match points, and then he actually wins the match as well. And that's Vanch's quarterfinal pick, maybe.
Who? Felix?
Yeah, because he picked him to beat both De Minaur and Hurkacz.
To beat De Minaur and Hurkacz. I mean, he's not even got that far, but yeah, it's a big
should probably like text Vanch and tell him something smug, because I don't know if you noticed, because Vanch likes to be smug about his predictions. He'll like text you post match, and he'll say, it was about Berg's Kazoo, for example. Why was Berg such a big favorite? I knew Kazoo was going to have a good chance in that match, and I'm like, Vanch, it's the 5th set. Kazoo has just won. I mean,
and Bergs was he not in a good position a couple of times to win that match?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was actually kind of outplayed. I mean, he never broke Kazoo. He was only back in the match in the 3rd and 4th. But well, form-wise, it was a bit of a mismatch. You know, Kazoo hadn't won in 2 months. But then Vanch used Hurlingham at the exhibition as an example.
Wasn't that where he was working on? That was the Hurlingham exhibition.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I found pretty hilarious, I have to say.
Yeah,
but I think even he did, because he said instantly that, I know it's an exhibition, but yeah.
Yeah.
Serve quality they're showing on the screen now. Sinner 8.5, Berrettini 9.4 so far. That's something that Matteo probably needs, and yeah, that Hurlingham thing oh yeah, that was this. Yeah, I think I was just using the eye test as a bigger factor plus Hurlingham exhibition.
By the way, look at some of these ghosty puns.
Ghosty puns, yeah. Let's see
in the chat. There's like 3 in a row. I'm sure he's trying to now. He's got a pen and paper and he's trying to think of a 4th one. Yeah, look, this is the best. This is not such a good one, but he's going to keep. How far can you keep going with this one, Ghosty? How long can your cock jokes last?
Yeah, when you said how far, I was like, there's a better way. There's a better way, John.
Yeah.
So far, the Berrettini serve can definitely go far, fast, deep, wide, and everything, and that's okay for the match so far. 30 love up as well again. Of course, he hasn't really threatened Jannik either, but well, maybe we'll just get them serving their way to a
Here we go. Look, Jake's getting involved as well.
Jake likes his cock.
There we go. Look, Ghosty, this is a good one. You're back on track with this one, if not even exceeding yourself.
Will Kokkinakis have to play again tomorrow, or is his opponent not yet decided? It is decided. Is it Pui? I think it's Luca Pui.
That was pretty ugly from Tommy Paul.
I have to check that, but I think it might be Luca Pui.
Tommy Paul does have the appearance of a sort of person you'd walk into a classic US bar and he's sort of going chug, 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 chug
Yeah.
with a
true.
beer that he's already downed and he's encouraging you to down yours.
And yes, it is Luca Pui. So yes, Tonassi and Luca will play tomorrow.
Look at Jane joining the party.
Everyone is all about the cock.
You don't get this kind of content on ESPN or Sky. Or
Probably
wherever you
not,
watch.
although I can imagine them kind of saying something like it and then just...
I bet John McEnroe writes things down on a bit of paper. That would be far more interesting than probably a lot of the things he does say.
A friend of mine from the Czech Republic recently told me about like this insane thing that a commentator said, and then it was, you know, it's like so when, you know, one of these things, like when you say it, you understand how that's, you know, just works in a different way than you wanted. And it was something like this, but I don't know if I remember it right now. And yeah, it was because of a name of some English or like, you know, no, foreign tennis player rather. But yeah, Berrettini cleans up the game again, 40-30, but he fires a +1 forehand winner inside out. So 4 games all so far, not much happening. And that's definitely something that he hopes for today.
Points won in defense. This is such a weird one.
I mean,
yeah, but but that means you've got to be put in that defensive position.
Yeah, I mean they have these stats like, you know, in attack, in defense, and neutral.
And I still want to see the you know how much in defense. That's
I've never seen that either. Yeah, actually,
I mean, you could say, well, yeah, kind of on defense, and you would tick it in the defense box, but it's a completely different shot to that other one that you had when you were massively on the defense and you went crazily big on it, and of course you hit it long.
Yeah, and obviously it's some sort of
Tommy
algorithm.
Paul, you lucky boy.
Obviously, it's some sort of algorithm doing this rather than anything else, right?
Vatana's looking a bit annoyed from 5-all basically when he broke back, or whenever it was 4-all maybe.
4-all, I think, yeah.
Yeah, and he's looked a bit annoyed, and I do feel as though this is Tommy Paul territory right now, albeit that he's serving second. Oh, lovely passing shot from Virtanen that Tommy Paul tried to replicate his diving volley on, but this time it was just too good, 15-all. Go on.
So has Virtanen held already? I think so, right?
Not on my screen. It's love 1. And I'd be surprised even on yours.
Oh, yeah, he held. So he held.
Oh, sorry, Virtanen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was asking about. 15-all here. There was a nice point from Matteo, who like came in after a big return, but now it's a Sinner ace down the tee.
Ashley's got a question for you. My answer is no, basically.
I'll watch this point and I'll check. That's a nasty slice from Matteo down the line, but he's still going to be pushed far wide after it on the next shot. Is this match basically just one of these automatic tiebreaks, Sinner Berrettini? It could be. It could turn out to be a tiebreak.
I mean, maybe the first set, but the way is this match just one of those automatic tiebreaks? I mean,
it's not quite Kordan Peci Perikat.
Right,
It's
exactly.
not that far off on grass, but it's not, you know. I mean, Jannik Sinner recently played, I don't know, like Hubert Hurkacz, and it was 7-6, 7-6, both sets. Wasn't an automatic tiebreak. In the second set, I don't think so. In the first, probably. So, like, these sets happen on grass. If you're hoping for, or if you're looking for another Kordan Peci Perikat, I don't think it will happen. But if it has, like, I don't know, 2 out of 3 sets, 3 out of 4 sets are tiebreaks, we wouldn't be surprised. That's a lovely lob from Matteo, and he gets that second point maybe for the first time in a Sinner service game. Maybe I think for the first time it's 40-30, but of course it's still 40-30.
I feel like Sinner's got a very, very good tiebreak record this year. Maybe I'm just thinking about Haller in particular, but
I think he's just got a very good record in everything this year. Like if you're winning, I think Sinner's record right now is 39-3, so it would be kind of impossible to have a poor tiebreak record, right?
Yeah. But I thought it might even exceed that, but that would be sort of 90+% territory, which would be
I'll check that. I think Rune at some point was on like 13 tie breaks in a row, which was pretty crazy. But not sure. I think Sinner also lost one in Halle, right, against Marozsan. He also lost one in Halle against Hrigspor, and I think he also lost one in Halle against Struff. So.
Oh, did he? I don't know why. I just thought he had a load of tie breaks there and won them all, but
Yeah, not really. I think
Okay.
he lost his first 3 and then won 4 in a row.
Okay.
But before that, he also lost one to Rune in Monte Carlo and lost one to Djokovic in Australia. Yeah, his record is actually very poor compared to like his overall one.
How
8-5
long?
maybe 8-5.
How long?
Maybe.
How long do we think these Kokkinakis jokes are going to continue? Will they be able to go to all the way to the end of the Sinner Berrettini match?
I'm past them, but if you guys want to continue, go ahead. Oh
No, I mean,
no.
I'll come back if I see. I mean, I'll put some of the funny ones on the
The
screen.
issue? Oh my god.
I know, yeah.
Oh my god. I mean,
Yeah,
you
that
guys
was from
took it a
Sean,
bit far.
I think.
You guys took it a bit far, I have to say.
That was from Sean here, from a little while
Foreskin
ago.
the issue out there. Jesus.
Tommy
It
Paul
goes
was
to
under a
tie
little
break,
bit
the
of
elite
pressure.
player usually wins 80%, I would say. A bit like a penalty shootout, the superior team comes out on top. I think 80% is very unrealistic. Like even like Djokovic, Federer, they have like 65-ish, percentage over their careers. If it goes to a tiebreak, it likely means that the set has already been relatively close, and it's
And
a bit of a
Matthew,
lottery. But I do agree that sometimes tiebreaks are predictable as well. Like Sinner Hurkacz second set in Halle was the best example you can get, because Sinner was dominating the entire set. He just couldn't land the break. But that feeling sort of just kept going in the tiebreak. Like there was no way for Hurkacz to win that tiebreak. So it happens sometimes. I think 80% is a bit unrealistic though. And even this year you can see it. I mean, Sinner has an 8-5 tiebreak record compared to 39-3 in matches. That's just because almost no one can take him to a tiebreak. And if they actually do, then that means the match is really close. And you can also see that 13 out of these tiebreaks, 13 tiebreaks, and 7 of them he played in Halle. So it's pretty crazy, but yeah, I mean, that's literally what grass does to you. So yeah, we might get a lot of tiebreaks here,
and
even
in football, I don't think it works like that though. Football, I think you've got that psychological advantage of getting to the penalty shootout. And of course, a penalty shootout is decisive, whereas a tiebreak often is not. You lose a set. Okay,
penalties is still a lottery, though, right? I mean,
right, exactly. A lot more of a lottery, and that's why you're not the superior team, either on paper or financially beforehand, or just wealth of resources beforehand, one way or another. Whether you're Brazil against Costa Rica, or whether you're Real Madrid against Wrexham, or Legia Warsaw. You give Legia Warsaw a penalty shootout before that match, and they'll bite your hand off, and they'll probably go into it, and it's probably 60-40. And depending on what's happened in the match, will maybe even give Legia Warsaw an even bigger chance. If Legia Warsaw have got away with it in the biggest possible way, with lucks and refereeing decisions and all sorts of hitting the post and unbelievable goalkeeping performance, probably you go into that penalty shootout almost a favourite.
Yeah, it's a more solid G, by the way, like Legia, but of course it's not a big deal.
Oh, is it Legia?
What is a big deal though is that right now we are at 30-all. Matteo lost this point where he went for a drop shot, and then at the net he couldn't fully control the volley that Jannik gave him, and it's now a set point, kind of nowhere. He was 30-love up here. There's a long rally here. He tries to run around the forehand, just dumps it into the net. So he will have to save a set point now. Yeah, I think also in penalties it's kind of different because the pressure is on all people. So it's unlikely that all 5 players are feeding it. That it's kind of spread out.
Mm-hmm.
And here it's just one guy, and if he is in trouble, if he is not holding up mentally, then there's nowhere to hide really. You can even swap, of course, in penalties. If someone isn't feeling like it, they don't have to shoot unless they're the star of the team and everyone expects them to. There was a let call here or something like that. I don't know. Matteo was not happy about something, but anyway, it's gonna be the first serve again, and it's gonna be wide. Wasn't far off, but it's a second serve set point down here, so it's definitely a scary moment for Berrettini. I don't think he makes a lot of double faults, and he didn't make one here. barely puts that first forehand in play, and he approaches the net. I mean, great point. Kind of risky, to be honest. The inside in wasn't even that good, but well, he makes it work. So he's just saved it. I think after the first forehand, I think he wasn't even like, based on his footwork, I don't think he was even sure that he was gonna make it. I think he was kind of waiting to see if that ball lands in, and then he suddenly, it's just up again, and stays in the point. So deuce now. First player
Wawrinka and Monfils
is Berrettini.
Start. I would have thought they would start the match, even if they know there's very little chance of finishing it tonight.
I'm not really sure what the scheduling is like. Like what
Do you think it's kind of good for both players, given their age, to maybe play a set tonight?
That's kind of how I felt about Nishikori in the long run. It didn't really influence it seems.
Did Nishikori lose that fifth set?
Yeah, he lost that fifth set, which is very uncharacteristic for him. But Wawrinka and Monfils, I mean, given they're both in the same scenario, sort of like at the twilight of their careers, right? I don't think it's a big deal. Like it's just impossible to predict who's actually going to be the worst player in terms of physicality. Wawrinka and Monfils are coming on after Kokinakis or Jaliesim, and they will definitely play. And in fact, I think they have about an hour and a half, maybe.
Do you think it might be that long? Yeah.
They will definitely play like a set and something, I think. And Berrettini survives. On deuce, there was also a pretty tricky moment for him. He gets that slice kind of from I don't know, like he wasn't really positioned for it too well, but he gets that over the net and he eventually gets the game. So saves the set point, and we are at 5 games all. But yeah, Sinner has been the better player so far, no doubt. As long as that's not on the scoreboard, though, that obviously doesn't matter whatsoever. How about Tommy Paul again, Otto Virtanen? I think it's the 4th game, right?
On serve. If there's anything crazy happening, I'm telling you. Although we have got 15-30, but an unreturnable serve means 30 all. So Tommy Paul 1-2, 30 all.
Into the 5th set are Miomir Kecmanovic and Taron Higsport as well. And also Jan-Lennart Struff is up 2-1 on Jiren Zhang.
And Sakari is serving for the match against Rus.
Yeah, but she's playing Rus. I mean,
I know, but it's a question that's being posed.
It's a pretty fun match, right? Raducanu Sukari, if we get it.
Yeah, it's 2 big names in the sport.
Yeah. But it would be easier if she was playing
Rus.
Yeah, if she was playing Rus, as Rus is, well, hardly a grass courter.
And hardly a big name in the sport, really, especially as it's just 3 letters.
Oh, Jesus. I think it's not the first time you made this joke.
No, of course not.
But it did catch me off guard, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Rus was in the top 50 last year. But she just kind of plays loopy cross-court forehands all the time. So it's grass isn't really her.
No.
Best
Some good serving there from Tommy Paul. Gets him out of that sticky situation, so he's held for 2 all.
Expectedly, there's also some good serving from Jannik Sinner that gets him to 6-5. So now, if only one more game needed for Matteo Berrettini to get us to a tiebreak, would Sinner be the favorite in that tiebreak? Yes, no doubt. But we know how tiebreaks work. Only 1 or 2 random errors, and you might be in trouble. So no certainties in the tiebreak.
Ooh, Otto, love 15, putting an easy forehand in the net.
I saw some Gaspar, for example, our friend, saying something about the scheduling for tomorrow. Kind of not liking the fact that Bolter Dart and Draper Norrie are on court number 1 instead of Świątek Martic or Fernley Djokovic.
Fernley Djokovic is on center, is it?
Yeah. I mean, Fernley is a Brit, And wasn't Kopriva Djokovic on center as well?
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah. So he thinks that they should be on court 1, and then those all British affairs should be on center.
I think I would agree with Draper Norrie. But Świątek Martic over Bolter Dart, I don't know.
I mean, as long as they're on show courts, But
yeah, I also don't think it's that big a deal. And of course, it's a kind of different situation this time because you have a doubles match on center court as well.
Yeah,
So
right. Yeah, right.
it's kind of
Cool point.
almost unprecedented.
Very cool point, and Tommy Paul ends up winning it 15-30 on the Virtanen serve. One of these sort of all-action points.
Well, Berrettini was in trouble in the last game. Now he's also lost 15. Is it just Jannik finding some more range on the returns? Maybe. This one was definitely really good at Berrettini's feet.
And we are going to get that Sakari-Raducanu clash.
Who's the favorite? It gotta be Emma, right?
Raducanu, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how it will be in the odds, but I would assume that
I think the odds will reflect that.
I think she will be the favorite. Yeah, not by a large margin, but she will be the favorite. I think.
Yeah, 2 break points for Tommy Paul here. A blocked return. The short ball pickup was dealt with in a very unbelieving way, if you know what I mean, with Virtanen just not really knowing what to do with it. Instead, just poked it back and basically said, Tommy Paul, pass me, and he did.
In his mind, though, he was probably saying, Tommy Paul, please don't pass me. Please mess this up.
Hey, Roland, how are you doing? There is a question that I will address in a minute. But at the moment, we've got 2 break points here for Tommy Paul.
Yeah, I think Roland, I'm fine with Dart Bolter being on court number 1 for sure. Maybe
yeah, I'm
Draper,
fine with it.
maybe Draper Norrie could have been center, but
Tommy, you could have done better there.
I don't think it's a big deal. As John said, I mean, as long as they're on a show court, it's really not a big difference. And it's gonna be a tiebreak in Sinner Berrettini. He actually managed to land like 3 unreturned serves and now a nice aggressive slice to, dirty bounce at Sinner's feet.
Has Harriet Dutt ever played on centre court? Because that would influence my thinking. Good serve from Virtanen, so we're back at juice. Has Harriet? Because
tell you that I don't know.
I'm thinking that she may never have played on centre court.
I don't remember who she played at Wimbledon over the years. I mean, she wasn't really ever a factor, so I'm not really sure.
That's why it was cool that Liam Brody got his centre court match last year, because I'm pretty sure that's his first time and only time playing on centre court, that Casper Ruud one.
Yeah, I mean, over the years, he was getting Wimbledon wildcards, but losing round 1 and like not 2 big names. So
second round, was it second round of Casper actually?
Yeah, but second round of Casper. But I mean, like over the years, he was not really getting to round 2, and he wasn't really facing some top quality names, right? So.
The other big one he had was on an outside court, wasn't it, against Schwartzman?
Yeah, but that's not quite the same.
So
and that's why it was on an outside court. And first point actually goes to Berrettini, and it's a mini break already. Sinner messing up this forehand cross court. Matteo just kind of staying in the point with that slice, and it ends up giving him the result he wanted. So yeah, I mean, if he wins the next 6 points on serve, and then he's gonna win the tiebreak. But of course, it's quite a long way still.
I wonder who the betting favourite is, Ashley, on the men's side in particular, because given Novak's early kind draw and the fact that Jannik and, of course, Carlos are on a collision course, I wouldn't be surprised if Novak might even be the betting favourite.
I don't think so. I think it's Jannik. But that's a painful miss for Matteo. It wasn't the easiest smash, but I think he jumped at it a little bit too early and then had to get it really high. And yeah, we're back to no mini breaks.
And we are also still on serve because Virtanen from 15-40 won 4 points in a row and has held serve.
By the way, did I send you that Sabalenka thing or not?
What thing?
Because you were wondering on one of the streams where Sabalenka was in terms of the odds for Wimbledon. And then I found odds pre-withdrawal, and I don't know if I sent that to you or not.
Was she favorite? Was she?
So I didn't send that to you. I didn't send it to you. No, Świątek was the favorite, and then Sabalenka Rybakina had the same position.
Okay.
So basically, tied second with Elena.
That doesn't make too much sense unless they can somehow factor in the injury. having Swiatek as favourite.
They
Same
weren't
time
factoring. I'm
draws.
pretty sure. I don't think they were factoring.
Was it pre-draw as well?
I don't know. It was a screenshot. But yeah, Jannik is the favorite right now. The second is Carlos, and the third is Novak. Despite him being in the other half than the other two, which I think is fair.
Maybe as well playing on an outside court might help. Did Draper get helped by having his match moved to centre? I'm not sure.
Maybe not actually. I mean,
Yeah.
if anything, he might have gotten more
You
pressure.
get that. You get that outside support. You know, you can probably feel it more than you can maybe on centre court. Maybe when things get tight on centre court, especially deep in the tournament. But it's a lovely return of serve there from Vertano. But yeah, I mean, you feel when I'm watching the French players on the outside courts at Roland Garros and the Brits as well on the outside courts, and it can be really rowdy and really off-putting for the opponent. And I don't think you get that rowdiness on centre court because it's a bit more, you know, corporate stuff. Oh, a horrible miss hit there from Tommy Paul, and suddenly he's love 30 down on his serve, 2-3.
Yeah, I mean, casual fans buy center court 1 tickets because they want to see the big names, and the hardcore fans buy grounds passes. I mean, that's how it's always worked, and that also leads to some massive atmosphere. Yeah. 4-2 Sinner, by the way. Berrettini loses this longer rally. Not looking too bright for him in this point because, yeah, just whenever he was stretched a little bit more, you know, just laterally, then making the next shot became an even tougher challenge.
Missed opportunity at 1-0, right? I think you were saying.
Yeah, 1-0 he was smashing and he missed it just by a tiny bit behind the baseline. So definitely we can kind of go back to that point, and if that didn't happen, we would still be tied right now. But yeah, just one mini break. Maybe he can still find something more.
Watching a pretty significant rally here at 15:30 on the Tommy Paul serve. We've had well over 10 shots now, I think. Good defense there from Tommy Paul, but he's going to have to defend again, and he does. Now we're kind of back to neutral, actually, with both players slicing. We're probably well into the 20s now in terms of this rally.
That's kind of careless from Berrettini as well. And it's going to be 5-2 Sinner with 2 serves. Looks like the first set kind of has to go to the favorite now.
Oh, Vertano goes big. Tommy Paul does the splits. I think he's okay. But more importantly for Tommy, it's 15-40 on his serve. 32 shots that rally. Sorry, go on.
No. I already said what I had to say, basically. 5-2 Sinner with 2 serves. So it's looking really nice for Jannik here. It was a very deep return. I mean, to his credit, it wasn't just Matteo's decision to like go after it so much. That was, you know, the only perpetrator here, if you may. This shouldn't be a point for Jannik, right? This is a replay because I think Matteo's return landed in. Yeah, it is. But it's still 5-2, so.
Paul saves one of those break points.
Tannen does, despite his playstyle, he does kind of like these 40-shot-ish rallies. Won one in Lille this year. And I don't know, his ground strokes are like kind of either 120% or he's pushing them. So if he's pushing them and he has that patience, then yeah. Matteo gets one of the breaks back with a fantastic combination. Slice down the line, lots of side spin, backhand cross court, very good top spin actually, and then a forehand cross as well.
Vertanen's annoyed at himself for losing that one, and we're back at deuce. Sorry, we're at advantage, Tommy Paul. My apologies. Good serve there, Tommy.
Okay.
Good serve there, Tommy. And he's done exactly what Otto did in the previous service game by winning 4 points in the row and getting himself out of a pretty bad position. And now it sort of feels like advantage Tommy as a result. Matthew thinks Rune will be a big issue.
Now Sinner finds an ace. 6 points to 3. 3 set points that Matteo has to defend. Of course, he already had saved 1 set point in the 4-5 game, but that was on serve. Now he has 2 more he has to save on serve and 1 on the Jannik serve, which is, of course, considerably tougher. Yeah, that choice to approach here with the slice, I mean, okay, but he should have gone line. I mean, he just gave the ball to Jannik, really. So it's 7-3, Sinner. If we get 3 sets like this, if we get 3 sets where it's like close but no cigar, and also the tiebreak or like the potential 7-5 or 6-4 isn't even that close, then I guess we kind of will have a bit of a no contest between me and Matthew, and kind of the Matteo Grass dilemma, whether he can take on Sinner or not. But so far, it's been relatively comfortable for Jannik given the circumstances, I guess. But Matteo does have some hopes of continuing in the second set for sure.
Roland here questioning the slice that I guess Matteo chose.
On set point?
Either questioning the execution or the choice. I'm
yeah,
not
I
sure.
think it's on set point. Yeah, could have played that top spin. Of course, that's not really his best shot, so maybe he just wasn't comfortable with the ball. If anything, like either the top spin down the line or the slice down the line, which he used so beautifully 2 points earlier, that would have been already a big thing. Matthew says that he thinks Rune will be a big issue for Djokovic. I have to question whether Rune even gets there, given what Quentin Wallis did today. And he looks every bit as good as at Wimbledon last year and every bit as good as in the qualifying. So Slam's already such a big home advantage for British, French, US, Aus players, and being supported in crazy in Paris. Yeah, I mean, it's still gonna be a British player on center for the men's, right? Fernley, but if you want to get Fernley, Djokovic, Draper, Norrie,
the Murray brothers.
I mean, the Murray brothers at the end. But if you want to get Draper, Norrie, or Fernley, Djokovic, I would suggest Draper, Norrie is a bit of a better match for center. But well, yeah, again, I don't think it's a big deal. Wawrinka Monfils has started, as Nahin says. But yes, Świątek Martic over Dart Bolter, I think that's absolutely fine. It's probably the better match in terms of like general watchability over the world for sure. So
yeah,
I think this one.
If Martic pulls off the upset, or even if it goes 3, and I mean, you just don't know, do you? It'll probably go the way it went last year, but. I was watching Krejcikova against Kudermetova earlier. Kudermetova won more points.
Yeah, that was awful. I mean, both players are very much out of form, right? Like matches like this can be entertaining if they are close, and this one was. I mean, it was over 3 hours. It was kind of similar with maybe Rusevori, McDonald, for example. Like 2 players who have been lost for a while, and they just keep going to each other for 5 sets. And yeah, sure, it's kind of fun. I can see the appeal of that, but it was not a good match. And Kudermetova, on the contrary to what we were thinking, she didn't manage to just re-find her form for the grass right away, and well, she lost.
Paul Smash does the job, 30 love. So we're 3-4, 30 love. So nothing to report right now.
Yeah, the potential break here for Sinner would really like take a lot of temperature out of this match. So kind of hoping that Matteo stays on the board. So far it's 15-all. The first point he lost because he like really overcooked one slice, but well, still keeping it tight with some +1 forehand actions. Kecmanovic serving for the match against Talon Griekspoor in the 5th set. It's the second time in a month that Miomir gives Talon so much trouble. In Hertogenbosch, it was also a very tight affair. Talon actually couldn't break Miomir until he was a breakdown in the 3rd, I think. And eventually he still won. But yeah, that's kind of unexpected to me. I mean, I just consider Griekspoor a much better grass court player, I guess, than Kecmanovic. But well, maybe with his return game and stuff, it's just tough for Talon to show that. Who is that better for in terms of the draw? Is that the Sinner section? I think it is the Sinner section, right? So if Sinner progresses through that match, he would play Kecmanovic, which does feel kind of unlosable, I think, compared to the Griekspoor matchup. It's an entertaining rally here. I think this slice from Matteo is going to be too short, yeah. But again, that was like kind of brought up by the depth of Sinner on the previous shot. Just made it very tricky for Matteo to actually slice it. You know,
I'm not sure, Matthew. I agree. I think as long as Matteo gets a set, then you're kind of in a pretty good territory to say that Matteo's made a fight of it. I mean, it doesn't matter what set it is, whether it's the first, second, or third that he wins. Because even if it's 2-1, you go, well, things have got interesting now.
Okay, Matthew. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, if it's like 3 sets, literally with the copy of the first set in the second and also the copy of the second set in the third, would we really say that it wasn't a match, though? Like, that's kind of what I'm asking.
It was a match, and the problem is it was a match until 4-2 in the tiebreak. Or maybe 5-2. If let's say Sinner gets a break in the next few games, a set and a break.
I mean, I'll give you that. If it's like a 3-setter and it's not, Matteo doesn't have 10 set points in one of them, then
a
sure.
really angry forehand from Virtanen went about 5 meters out, and we've got Love 40 on his serve at 4-all. So we've had a couple of 15-40s in this set for both players, but now Love 40 is obviously even more significant. Underarm serve from Virtanen does not work, and he nets on the backhand side. So Tommy Paul is broken, but the headlines will all be about the shot selection of doing the underarm serve.
Yeah, that's a surprising idea. I mean,
he was just annoyed, and he's been a grumpy guy for about an hour now since losing his serve at 5-all, I think it was, in the previous set, having got back on serve at 4-all. And the forehand he hit that preceded it was just an incredibly frustrated forehand. It was from a neutral position, really, from memory. But either way, he was angry. And then he does the underarm serve. And I mean, he's trying to disguise it too much and catch Tommy by surprise, that the actual execution as a result is compromised. And it lands far too kindly. It's not just over the net. Tommy's not deep. Tommy's not 5 meters behind the baseline and suddenly caught off guard. And Tommy breaks, and now we'll serve for the match.
Yeah, I think Griekspoor, I can't call him like less mentally strong this year because he had some ridiculous matches he pulled off. There was the Australian Open when he won 2 matches despite playing nothing really. There was, of course, the Rotterdam run as usual. Yeah, I think he's kind of just keeping up, just still staying a solid main tour player. Nothing crazy, nothing harsh really. But yeah, certainly I think he should be beating Kecmanovic on grass. And twice in a row, it's a very tough matchup for him, seemingly. Oh, yeah, this will be a great point if Sinner wins it. But I guess he's not, actually. The backhand on the slide was so good that I was thinking there's no way Matteo gets anything out of this. But he actually got a very nice get. And it lands short enough that Jannik won't get to it. But yeah, the backhand on the slide from Jannik here was pretty stunning.
Oh. I mean, Otto is so annoyed with himself at the moment, but I just don't see a way back. It's 15-love at the moment to Tommy Paul. Tommy attacking forehand there, wins the point with an outright winner, 30-love. By the way, in terms of these last 2 comments in the chat, you can probably guess the nationality of Roland from the Griekspoor question.
Could be, given the name. It's a pretty tricky game.
I mean, I know where Roland is from, so.
Yeah, it's a pretty tricky game in the second set, but so far, Matteo still held.
And Snehil beating Nagal gave Kecmanovic so much confidence. Where do you think Snehil is from?
No, I know. Snehil often asks about Sumit Nagal, so I know he's from India.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was that much, exactly, yeah. Miobir was like, if I've beaten Nadal, and then he forgot it was actually Nagal, the other brother.
Yeah, because Vanch is here saying it's a dream for James Draper against Norrie, but actually when you've got sort of two favourites playing each other, it's often the other way around. I'm not convinced, Miles, that we'll have loads more tie breaks, although I've not really seen much of the match. I just feel as though Sinner at some point is going to pull away. And it seems like Berrettini is under a bit of pressure from time to time. We've got 2 match points, Tommy Paul. And I'm fearing that Vatanen is going to have a few nightmares about this match. But there we go. Tommy Paul first serve clips the net but lands in. So it's going to be a second serve for the American. By the way, I was listening to a Miles Space yesterday during, I think, some of those Felix match points. I was in the gym yesterday evening, and it would have been sort of mid-afternoon. Tommy Paul forehand should win this point. He's going to have a smash. He's going to let it bounce. Oh, good. Oh, my goodness me. Wow. I think he needed 3 smashes there to get it done. And he smiles, understandably. And Vatanen and him embrace at the net. And it's Tommy Paul emerges the winner in 5 sets, 6-4. So Otto and Felix can share a beer or vodka or two, knowing Otto's nationality. He might be switching to the vodka and sit at the table of 5-set painful losses. Because, yeah, Otto's going to be pretty annoyed at how that one got away.
Yeah, I mean, that underarm serve, so unnecessary, and like kind of the only time in that match where Otto clowned a bit. But well, I guess it's still behind schedule with him, so sure. But yeah, overall, I still think he should take a lot out of this Wimbledon. I mean, getting his first Grand Slam win, pushing Tommy to 5, and like really pushing Tommy to 5, and yeah, just again proving that he has ridiculous talent and kind of just needs to start putting it together more often.
I do not like vodka at all, Miles, but clearly Miles is a fan of smooth vodkas. But yeah, no, regarding his spaces yesterday, I was listening, and I wasn't watching tennis at the time, so I was just listening to his spaces and Felix squandering those match points. I recall that period of the conversation, and then losing in 5 today. Daniel Medvedev prefers 3 sets. He was asked at a press conference 3 sets or 5. Someone's obviously writing a piece about it, because I think 2 or 3 players were asked the same question, but he stood out as being someone who prefers 3 sets over 5.
Someone says to me in a group chat that it will all be over for Tommy Paul in the next match. Who the hell is Tommy Paul playing? I thought he had an easy draw to the quarters. Oh, it's Bublik, right? Yeah, it's Bublik, I think. Yeah. Well, it's not easy, but I guess you just never know what to do with Bublik. But yeah, Tommy Paul today, definitely a very, very fun match against Vatanen. And we'll see how far he can get. More matches getting cancelled, I guess. Yeah.
But are they starting Monfils Wawrinka?
Yeah, they started a long while ago. I mean, they still have a lot of time. It's just like what? Not even 8 p.m. in London. It's like 1 more hour, more or less, of play. So.
And you never know, one of those 2 might retire.
They might. Yesterday they were really like trying to push through Taylor Fritz, right, against Christopher O'Connell, and also Daniel Collins. With Collins, they didn't work it out actually. With Taylor, they did. Like Daniel had to come back, but yeah, it's a priority to finish.
Won that match in the end.
Still hair. Second set tiebreak, I think.
Oh, okay. They've not finished yet.
I mean, still hair. Still hair. As in, she still won.
Oh, she still won. Okay.
Still hair, as in, like not his. Olin Zhu beat Pavlyuchenkova. Okay, so that seed that I mentioned, one of the seeds that I mentioned in the Raducanu section is already out. Yastremska is also down a set to Gracheva, so we might as well be in a situation in a couple of hours where it's only Kasatkina and Sakari staying there out of the seeds in the whole quarter.
Thank you, Snehal. So that's already 4-all. Yeah, Roland probably is right in that Bublik has certainly got a lot more practice, I think, than Vertana underarm serves.
But yeah, now we have 2 breakpoints for Berrettini, and certainly this match is coming closer to what Matthew was picturing right now. As well, the first game, of course, was pretty tight already. Then Jannik just holds to love with no issues. And right now, Matteo is in trouble again. So I would even argue that if the second set is won by Matteo in like a tiebreak, and after that it's like 6-3, 6-3, then it still wouldn't count as a good battle. But well, we'll find out soon. I guess that's not what Matthew was saying, though. I think he was saying that it has to be like 1 set all, and then the third set is a real back and forth. So I guess he also wasn't taking that into consideration, I suppose.
Good stat here.
But
good stat
well,
here.
crazy point as well. There's a net court on the Sinner return. Berrettini slice approaches and actually gets a good volley out of this. So he has saved the 2 breakpoints, but it's now like the 4th game in a row when the Matteo serve is a little bit sketchy. The Matteo service game is just a little bit more troubling than before. What was the good stat you were mentioning?
Mario has tweeted about Naomi Osaka on 21 out of 25 occasions. So on 4, let's say there's 4 occasions out of 25, she hasn't reached the quarterfinal in a slam. So basically, she often doesn't go deep. But the 4 occasions she did, she went on to win the title. So she's kind of an all or nothing player.
Yeah, I mean, it's also because of the fact that she only has 2 slams where she can go deep. But yeah, even at these 2 slams, she's never made a quarter without winning it. Victoria Azarenka, what did you do in the 2020 US Open final?
Wim Fawcett made an interesting comment the other day, which is yet to sort of, no, it's kind of coming to fruition. You can see the slow incremental improvements. He just wants to make her competitive at 4 slams rather than 2, which also probably lends itself into that
On
tweet.
clay, it definitely did, but like the performance today, sure, Navarro played great to rush her, but it's also because Naomi was like not really able to do anything. Like I don't think that match was gonna get any better from her. Like I don't think it's really form of the day. Like she really didn't handle herself well on that sort of a court. Just a bit. It is a bit surprising sometimes because some of the other like fast hard courts she's doing very well on. Of course, grass is different, but still, I mean, she has the weaponry theoretically. Anyway, 2-1. Actually, Matteo has saved himself again, but yeah, it's becoming more and more of a struggle in his service games.
I've switched over to Zhang Struff, and I had no idea about the score.
Who's taking the MTO? Who's taking the MTO?
What, Zhang Struff?
Yeah.
No one. Not on my
it's
screen.
already it's already over. Okay, yeah. Someone was on the previous changeover.
Okay. Oh, you lucky boy, Zhang. Horrible, horrible net cord going his way. 3-all in the 4th. But I knew that Zhang won the first set, but I hadn't realized that Struff took the next 2. Do we know who took the medical timeout?
I don't know. Would have to like Twitter search it maybe. But yeah, Jannik now back at 1-2, and so far kind of again doing his thing, getting some much easier, getting some easy holds, easy points. Zhang Struff, right? I'll type it into the search engine and it probably will show me something. If it was Zhang, then it's not a big story, really, right? But if
exactly. I was thinking, please don't be Struff. I hope no. But when you're leading a match 2-1,
Mirka Federer is watching this match. By the way, she's on my screen right now.
But no Roger.
No, I mean she was on the screen. They showed some stat about Roger winning this in 2003, but I don't know. And it was Zhizhen Zhang actually. So a right wrist problem, they say.
Okay.
So yeah, 40 love again for Sinner. Really easy holds time and time again now. although he will make it a little bit more difficult with this drop shot. I guess, it's a fine idea at 40 love. Just throw in something unexpected, see how it goes. In this case, it did not go too well, but it's still 40-15, so no harm done.
The Kokkinakis jokes have died down.
Yeah, at some point they had to run out of it, but Sean especially came in with something.
Yeah, that was a winner down the line.
Shook me to the very core. Oh no, I should have said something even worse. Shoot me to the very cock.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work, but it would have been very much in line. I mean, it kind of works, It's just a different part of the body, although I don't know if core is even a part of the body. I mean, it kind of is. Anyway, never mind. 2 games all. Matteo Berrettini, he would really appreciate an easier hold right now, because the last few games have been getting tricky, and there's no end in sight, seemingly. But maybe there is. Maybe Matteo will show us the way.
Kren's saying that Monfils is doing his thing right now, staying solid. I'm not sure if Monfils is super well known for his solidity.
No, he is, right? Like for like just crazy consistency of the ground, I think he is. I think I'm sorry, Kren, but more of a Monfils thing. I think it's just like the reactions he has between the points, right? When he's like barely walking, and then of course on the point he actually sprints all around like a gazelle. He's not the only one to do it, but I think that's more of a Monfils thing. That's like the thing that instantly comes to mind. Of course, there were some players as well who didn't like it, like Andrei Rublev a couple of years ago.
Really? Rublev got annoyed with him about it?
Yeah, it was either Cincy or Canada, and he was like, "Yeah, you do this every match. What are you doing?" And they kind of like Gael came up to him and they kind of said some things to each other, and they were just like okay with it after a while. But yeah, Rublev said something during the match. I think later he just kind of said he was frustrated, and just that's how he chose to unload it rather than in a different way. But I understand how it can be a little bit off-putting to another player. Of course, again, Monfils is not the only player doing it, but I think he and Murray are kind of, and Djokovic maybe as well. No, Djokovic not to that extent, but he and Murray are probably the ones kind of most synonymical with it. And also the trick shots. The trick shots are definitely.
He's mastered the art.
He's mastered the art, yeah, definitely. And the trick shots as well. That's another thing synonymical. I think a lot of players over the years and just people in the tennis world have also said that if they were to pay like money to watch one player, it was gonna be Gael Monfils, which is also quite an important part of his legacy, I suppose. Just being an amazing entertainer along with the tennis quality. And Matteo gets that easy hold. I was kind of thinking that he should at this stage. Of course, he is serving first in this set, so that potentially could put him in a pretty decent position as well. Maybe he can just locate something if he keeps up the pressure on Sinner, although so far definitely more of that pressure has been on him rather than on Jannik. I wonder if Jannik, I don't think we've had a deuce on the Jannik serve. We've definitely had a game when it was 40-30. And if memory serves right, Matteo was also going to have like a bit of a chance in that point. But yeah, I mean, the margins have been very slim. I kind of feel like I'm talking about Korda and Pecci Pericard, at least in the sense that Korda was like looking for these very slim chances on the Pecci Pericard serve, at least until a while, because after that he actually got these 2 consecutive low 40s, right, which he didn't capitalize on. But for a while it was kind of like this, where I was watching Korda put a return in and I was already thinking, oh, that's a chance, because usually he's not. So, but yeah, that's kind of how this match feels so far, and it does not feel too close. I have to give that to Matthew, like so far at least. Maybe Matteo just manages to link some points together in a return game soon. Maybe he wins the second set tiebreak, but so far it's not really feeling that close, despite the scoreline obviously being close. Jannik has only lost 8 points on serve so far. And that kind of tells you the story of it. Matteo, in contrast, has lost 21. So it is kind of Hurkacz Sinner-like from Halle, I would say, especially the second set from Hurkacz Sinner. And yeah, it's just a question of whether Matteo can keep himself close and maybe find something that Jannik gives him. I don't know. I mean, he already gave him something, somewhat, in the beginning of the first set, right? But in the beginning of the first set tiebreak, I mean. But yeah, then he missed that smash. And 15-all now. So maybe this is that microscopic chance that I was talking about. And they're actually showing a stat about this as well now. Points lost on serve in the second set. Matteo with 8, Jannik with only 2 right now. And it was a bit of a lucky point as well for Matteo, I have to say. So that's a nice return from him. Will he be able to recover? I think he is. Lots of slices from both guys. I don't think this Sinner lob is good enough. And Matteo just barely touches it though. But Sinner will not make the pass. So it's 15-30. And this is now the clearest chance we've had on the Sinner serve.
Zhang and Struff were on serve at 4-all, but the previous service game, Zhang was at deuce, and Struff went for a nice attacking slice that landed just out. And that sort of was the opportunity gone. But anyway, 30-15 here. So at the moment, we're heading towards a tiebreak, albeit we've got a few more games to go.
Goes down the line with the backhand, Matteo, but he will miss it. Well, appreciate the aggression, but...
Kren says that Monfils's draw opens up when he beats Wawrinka.
I think I had Gal losing in the third round, but I don't remember to whom, so let's check that soon. But yeah, I'm pretty sure I had Monfils winning 2 matches over Mannarino and Wawrinka, but then losing to somebody, and I don't think I really considered Monfils to win that match. So let's see. Also, I have to tell you that it's going to be a breakpoint for Matteo Berrettini. He approaches the net, he jumps onto it, and he kind of is a bit lucky here, I think, with this reaction of the belly really picking up that volley. But it lands close to the line. So it is Matteo Berrettini with a breakpoint. I mean, this is just crucial times, obviously, because it doesn't seem like he will be getting a lot of these opportunities. And so far, he definitely has not. This is literally the first close game on the Sinner serve. And it's going to be on second serve too. So, well, I don't have to tell you how important this is for this match to be competitive, and especially for Berrettini to keep himself in it. And he gets the return in, goes for the forehand line, but he will miss it. I mean, maybe the idea was okay. I don't know if he had to go all out on it, but, well, he did. That's what happened. So Monfils would be playing Dimitrov or Zhang. If the Dimitrov elbow issues actually turn out any serious, then maybe. But overall, wouldn't Dimitrov be the favorite over Monfils on grass if he's fine physically? He definitely would.
Just remember who the comment came from. I mean,
I know.
My initial thought was that after Wawrinka, he has a nice draw. I would say he's got a nice draw already.
Yeah. That's why I actually, kind of am still treating the comment seriously. As in, like, I was expecting maybe like a weaker opponent than Wawrinka. But yeah, it's probably not going to be a weaker opponent than Wawrinka.
Zhang serving to stay in the match, albeit with new balls, and he takes advantage of that with that first serve, so it's 15-love. I'm not going to move over from a match that's in the tense moments, potentially near the end, to Wawrinka against Monfils at the beginning of their match. It's just Snehill's asking me to watch a different match, because I guess he's watching Zhang versus Struff.
Zhang might be done in a second, right? So
Could be. Could be.
But yeah, Berrettini did not take that break point, obviously, trying to like go really hard after his forehand down the line, kind of the same way he did earlier with the backhand down the line at 15:30. So now it's a okay, it's a game point for Sinner. Never mind. I wasn't sure if that serve went in or not, but it's a game point for Sinner now. Because we're challenging it. My guess would be I don't even know, honestly. My initial instinct was in, but now I'm questioning myself. And it's out. So it's going to be the second serve, but of course it's still game point for Jannik. Matteo lands the return, slices it cross. It's going to land in and actually be very uncomfortable for Jannik. Matteo should be taking this point, and he is. So still not allowing Sinner to get back to safety. Still 2 points away, though, from breaking. But yeah, this is the chance, right? This is the moment that Berrettini was hoping for. This is the moment that he was not getting since the beginning of the match, really. And if he can't take it, I don't know if his chances to win the match will be that high. Definitely still feels like more of an exception rather than the rule that Sinner is struggling on serve. But it's a great return from Berrettini. Maybe this point he can also win. Net court, but Sinner stays in it. And Berrettini rushing the net, and it's going to be okay. I mean, he actually approached with like subpar placement, I think. But maybe in a way this actually worked in his favor because he was like kind of very centric at Sinner. And I think Jannik was pretty confused in terms of what to do. There was no angle for him to play on. There was no, like, he even kind of was like still judging whether to go backhand or forehand up until a certain point. So it's going to be another break point for Sinner. And Berrettini is getting some pretty good returns in. Let's see. One more break point for Matteo. And again, it's going to be on the second serve. So, well, the chance is just getting clearer and clearer. It's just about whether he can take it. Some of these kickers from Sinner are pretty nasty, though. He gets the return in, slices the ball at Sinner. Sinner trying to play inside out. Drop shots Matteo, and it's into the net. So it's 4-2 Berrettini. I think the drop shot would have been point winning if he made it. So I definitely think the idea was okay. Don't know if he had to go for it. I mean, he also could have gone just like cross-court into the other corner for Matteo, but I think the ball was getting really low after that Berrettini slice, so probably that was a reaction to this. And 32 minutes into the second set, we have Berrettini at 4-2. So if there was ever a chance for Matteo to take a set here against Sinner, well, this is it. He will only have himself to blame if he cannot take it.
Has Matteo now ticked the box of making the match?
Not yet. I think it's only if he takes the set.
Okay.
I think if he loses this set from this position, it's still not really it.
I had a late night ice cream last night. It was I think it was called banoffee, which is like a banana toffee combo. Just because Nerlan is, I'm not mentioning that completely randomly. Nerlan is asking a question about it. Nerlan, this Kirit obsession is a bit weird, even by Nerlan standards. Zhang and Struff. Zhang is serving to stay in the match, and it's 15-all. Struffy does sort of have
ice cream with chocolate taste or strawberry. I generally tend to go for fruit. So
oh, really? I'm more chocolate.
I'm definitely more fruit. And it's not just like calories and stuff, although that's like, you know, a good addition to it, I suppose. I don't know. I definitely don't like vanilla or just in general, you know, just like generic ice cream. I would much rather go for some fruit. Yeah.
Snehil saying that as soon as he said Matteo's returning was off, Matteo turned it on.
Yeah, I mean, last game he actually had a few amazing returns. Definitely not something that was going on in this entire match in general. Sure, he was helped out by Jannik hitting two lacking first serves on the break points, but still, like there's been a lot of second serve returns that Matteo missed in the match. So, well,
Nerlan, are you happy about
getting so obvious now? 15-all, there's a double fault from Berrettini. So, yeah.
Nerlan, are you happy about Turkey's progress in Euro 2024? Turkey winning in
Netherlands right now, right?
Yeah. Turkey winning the Euros in Germany would be just the biggest troll ever. And I'm here for it.
You hate
Anyway,
Germany. I mean, it definitely shouldn't be England. I mean, by what they've been showing, I think.
yeah, I know. It's
They should
almost
lose
embarrassing.
right away, you know.
Yeah.
And that top half as well is like so much better.
I know. I'm almost embarrassed.
Matteo makes up for that double fault with a second serve that bounced out of Sinner's reach. Again, I don't know if it's more the court or his skill, but well, whatever. The result is important. I think on Friday, if I'm going to go out and if it's going to be raining in Wimbledon, which will influence my decision, I will probably watch Portugal against France.
Portugal-France is Friday, is it? 9 o'clock?
Yeah, it's the later match. Yeah, the first one is Spain, Germany.
That's a good night of football with the other one as well. The 6 o'clock.
Absolutely.
Germany,
A friend of
Spain.
mine doesn't want to go out because he wants to watch the matches, but we might kind of combine it, and I might go out with with another friend, drink some, and then go to them and watch Portugal France. That's kind of
Matteo looking a bit better now, right? And Struff and Zhang are into a fourth set tiebreak with Struff up a mini break 2-1.
Yeah, 40-30 Matteo. Great second serve on the 15-30 points. Now kind of wins one with a +1 forehand. If he can just close out the game here, he's going to be 5-2 up. But Jannik says not yet. Definitely, the lateral movement of Berrettini isn't the sharpest. And sometimes when he's just pushed wide, it's tough for him to even get the ball over the net. But, well, on grass, he has the best options of not getting into rallies like this. And he's already won a clay title as well this year. So.
Struff goes for the serve and volley, but Zhang says no, and returns passing the German. So it's 2-2 back on serve.
2-2 in the tiebreak? Okay.
Yep.
Could be the end of that match soon. I think, Wawrinka Monfils will probably be the other big one other than Berrettini Sinner, as Berrettini hits another double fault on that outside.
Matteo squandering that advantage so soon will be very disappointing. Nice play there from Zhang, so we're at 3-3.
Right, so we've got that break point for Sinner now. Matteo gets the serve in, but we're going to be in a rally, so that's already a chance for Jannik. Some pretty nice slices from Matteo as he sets up the inside-out forehand. Jannik plays it so deep, though, and he's going to get the error. So we don't have that break consolidated. Jannik is back in the set. That last shot from Jannik was just so deep. I mean, Berrettini was trying to run around it, but it was almost impossible. And just a quality rally from Sinner overall. When we are in an actual rally, of course, he is the favorite most of the time. And 4-3 again. That break just not consolidated. It's not like the end of the world for Matteo. He's still in the set, but he's definitely not in a dominating position anymore. And going down 2 sets to love here will definitely, again, as I said earlier, just kind of take some temperature out of this match.
The temperature between Zhang and Struff is being turned up at 3-3 here in the tiebreak. Zhang serving down the tee, and it's an unreturnable serve. So Zhang is now leading 4-3, albeit on serve. And Monfils has taken the first set, much to the delight of Kren.
And we've got Fognini Bautista, a good setup as well for tomorrow.
Fognini Bautista are good. And Monfils Wawrinka feels like very 2010. Full all. Big week of elections in Europe. Who are your choices? Let me know in the live chat for the Wimbledon title.
What?
I don't know. It was a bit of just a, yeah. Or maybe I'm trying to be too clever. Maybe I'm trying to be like, who's that South African commentator, the tennis guy? Robbie Koenig.
Robbie Koenig, yeah. Mungus on amphetamines.
I know the Robbie Koenig line about putting the nail in the coffin was a.
That's actually really good, I think.
Ooh, Zhang really got away with that there. He should have punished Struff earlier, but either way, he's won the point, and he's got the mini break advantage, 5-4 in this tiebreak. And Zhang with 2 serves, if he wins both of these points, we're going into a 5th.
Yeah, I saw that Zhang was like a bit of a criminal favorite there over. Sorry, Struff was a bit of a criminal favorite over Zhang there. Like
Pre-match.
Way too much. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of 60-40 in Struff's favor.
Yeah, it's really not a big like difference. You know, they kind of play well. They don't play similar tennis, of course. Struff plays to the net, plays much like faster of the bounce, but like it's just 2 big hitters, right? I mean. Not much more to say.
I've actually only just regarding a question here from Jake. I think he thinks that I've been watching Sinner Berrettini, which I haven't, but I'll just give you a quick thought on Virtanen kind of mentally not being there in that final part of the 5th set against Tommy Paul, who, yeah, I did say I had a feeling that he would go on to win that match going into the 5th, and he just held solidly. Regarding this one between Zhang and Struff, yeah, both very serve dominated since I turned on probably midway through the 4th set. But regarding Sinner and Berrettini, Damien.
Yeah, I mean, Sinner has definitely been like, you know, the better player so far, but Matteo had that really good return game. First one of the match, actually, recently. And yeah, he just couldn't consolidate the break, which could end up biting him in the ass. I mean, literally, it was that chance, right? I mean, he was 4-2 up. He had it all lined up for the set and he just couldn't take it, which of course was to an extent also due to some good play from Sinner. But the 2 double faults on the deuce side definitely didn't help. And yeah, that was kind of it. I mean, Matteo had his chance for the 2nd set. He's still in it. He doesn't have to lose it, but it's gonna be hard now, just given the fact that we're back on serve. And also there was a question there.
2 set points. Struff has saved 2 set points. The first one coming once he got into the rally, he was on top, forcing an error from Zhang, and the second one was saved with an ace when it's on his serve. So it's 6-all at the change of ends. Nurlan having some Raducanu stuff, which I'm surprised that he's saying that she barely makes an unforced error, because I think Raducanu certainly can have an off day where she makes dozens.
Yeah, I think today she was actually more like attacking Mertens, but not in like a, you know, super aggressive way. Just no.
A more solid sort of attacking, kind of
but
Djokovic.
Yeah, more like, yeah, and also kind of like just using the variety that, you know, in grass courts obviously is a big part of the surface. All the slice options and just, yeah, utilizing basically the variety that she has in her game to keep it a little bit uncomfortable for Mertens as well. But I don't know if she like has to outlast everyone.
We've got a match point for Struff.
And also there was this question earlier, which team I'm supporting in the Euros. Not a big deal for me, but Portugal, if I have to
Portugal?
choose. Yeah, they just have the flashiest players, and that's why. The lineup is the most interesting to me with yeah, a lot, you know, the City guys, Ronaldo, Fernandes, Ramos.
Good serve from Zhang, 7-all.
Yeah. Like all of these guys.
Match point saved.
I'm kind of bored by football in general, so I need that sort of watchability.
So you've got to be going for Turkey or
yeah, probably not for someone playing more of a defensive game. Yeah, I don't think so.
Ace from Zhang, and he's gone from saving a match point with an unreturnable serve to now having a set point at 8-7.
Okay, that match definitely getting spicy then.
Nurlan loves Raducanu. He certainly has his favourites, and she's one of them.
I think we both like Raducanu as well, and would kind of like
I
her
like,
to be,
yeah,
you know,
I like
a part of the top. I mean, I'm not saying she has to win slams tomorrow, or if she even has to do it again anytime, but like it would be good to have her as a part of the tour.
Mm-hmm.
Which last 2 years it's not been happening really.
Yeah, just make a quarterfinal.
Yeah, and that's already something. Finish in the top 30 or something like that, or like get to the top 30 at the beginning of next
Did reach
season.
number 10 in the world.
Yeah, she briefly touched the
Yeah.
top 10. Yeah, not
Eight.
instantly after the U.S. Open, but like a little bit later.
Yeah, 8-all now in the tie break. Struff on top of the point from the moment he served. So we're going to have a match point or a set point once again. Jake's choice of turkey is funny, and his reasoning behind it.
It's a lean meat, you know. It's good. I prefer chicken, but turkey is okay.
Very good, Damien. Your puns get worse.
30-all, by the way, but Berrettini still has to be pretty.
Second serve ace from Struff sets up a match point.
Okay. He was 30 love up here, Matteo, and seemed like he was kind of cruising towards that 5-4, but yeah, now 30 also really important points coming up. Would be a disaster for him to go from 4-2 to 4-6.
So match point Struff. Down the tee. He's in the rally, though. Not a bad return considering how good that serve was. Very much in the rally. Backhand to backhand right now. And the backhand from Zhang goes long. And it's game, set, match. Jan-Lennard Struff takes off his hat, reveals the brightly coloured Fabio Cornini-esque Ken from Barbie blonde streaks. And flash as a pan, he's through.
Yeah, and Matteo Berrettini is going to be forced to save a break point here. Oh, he hits
Matteo.
an ace on it, which is really important. But yeah, the previous point, he just kind of overcooks a smash. And even the second serve was on the line. There's definitely a bit of tension right now. And yeah, just in general, I mean, going from 4-2 up to 4-6 here, that would really lower the tension here, lower the pressure on Jannik. So Matteo still in it, and he fires another ace, this down the tee.
Yeah, that last-minute save by the goalkeeper from Turkey last night has been talked about a lot. Nurlan, please expand on this Sloane Stephens Gula comparison.
Sloane lost pretty easily to Schneider today, right?
Yeah, one game.
One game?
Yeah, I think so. 6-love, 6-1, I think.
Oh, wow. I saw the 6-1 set, but I wasn't aware that the other was also a bagel. Jesus, that's not amazing. Yastremska and Gracheva are into the third set, and so are Sun and Starodubtseva. I'm sure everyone is watching Lulu's son play Yulia Starodubtseva at the moment. Paulini Minen as well. Jasmine looking to secure.
Has Paulini not won that yet?
Not yet, but she's up a set and a break against a pretty dangerous fast court player, I would say.
Definitely. But I just saw that Paulini was up a set and a break about what felt like quite a while ago.
Okay, maybe I haven't. No, she's still in, I think.
I think it was set in 2-love about half an hour ago, so I just thought that might be done by now.
Berrettini missing the inside in forehand here, so still deuce. Can't quite get out of that 4 games all, 4-all game. No, actually, Paolini has won. Yeah, I just didn't refresh my scores.
Okay.
So yeah, Paolini has won. Yastremska, Gracheva are pretty much in the middle of the third set by now, and Sun is up a break in the third set. These are the last women's matches for today. And on the men's side, we just have 5 right now. We've got Sinner, just 2, as in like 5 with the women's is what I was trying to say. And we've got Wawrinka, Monfils, and Sinner Berrettini. There's another rally at deuce here. And Matteo, I think, has again knifed that slice, like floated it a little bit too much. These are errors he just cannot afford to be making. I mean, this is supposed to be his strength in this one, you know. And yeah, that's just not good enough. So it's another breakpoint for Sinner now. Matteo. And Gael Monfils is up a set and a break. So maybe the break today, you know, the one that they will have to take reasonably soon, maybe that's actually not good for him. And yeah, second serve as well on the break point for Sinner. So Berrettini, what will he do here? Will he double fault again? It's kind of the big story. Well, no, but he will have to win a rally, and he will. This time he gets that inside in forehand perfectly. Sinner trying to just slam it on the run, but it's far wide. This is this is kind of like you have to win this game to win the match game for Matteo. And so far it's really tricky, as just the entire set has been, honestly, other than that one break that he secured on Jannik. Maybe he should sort of like feel fortunate that he secured that one break on Jannik, because otherwise he would be in total trouble right now, just given how the set has been going in general. And again, second serve on that deuce side, he's been known to double faults in this match when serving in that direction, but not this time. But Jannik's return is really good. Nice counter from Matteo. No way he's okay. I thought he thrown that slice out again. Some really good defense actually from Berrettini now. The slice barely getting over the net. He's hitting a lot of shots from like tricky defensive positions, and he wins the point. This is kind of wow. I mean, this is not what we've been watching the entire match, really. When usually on the stretch he's not finding the shot and just kind of looking slow. This was really good. This was actually, just stunning in terms of all the angles that he used, all the changes of pace as well. He gets the reward. So it's a game point, and 4 games all now. He might secure that 9th game of the second set. Maybe put Sinner in a bit of trouble. Who knows? Under some pressure. But well, gotta clean up this game eventually. It's been pretty long. I don't think we've seen the timer yet, but I feel like it's been probably the longest one of the match.
Nerland's also a Navarro fan, I think, right?
I don't know. Buskova, he definitely liked Volinets, but I don't know about Navarro.
Buskova.
Yeah.
Okay.
When she was making a run in Canada last year, he kept talking about her, or like telling us to talk about her, basically.
Okay. Buskova, sorry, I know he's Volinets, I know he's Raducanu, and I know he's anyone but Iga, so therefore Rybakina often falls into play. Berrettini's held.
Yes, Berrettini has held. What did you say about Nurlan's volleying?
Nerland's volleying? What?
Yeah, I think you said that Nurlan volley nets.
Very good, very good. He's asking you a question about Diana Schneider. How excited are you by her?
Sorry, I'm still laughing about my joke, so I cannot reply right now. I can't come to the phone at the moment. I have a question for you again. You're saying how excited am I about Schneider? Yeah, quite a lot. I think she definitely has a nice, like, sort of like top-heavy game in the sense that, her top level is really good. She's already won titles, right, on the WTA Tour. She's super young. Had that one season in college, which I don't know how much it actually has given her, but she says, it's been very helpful as well. North Carolina, I think, state. And yeah, excited to see her developing. I think she's like a real, top 20-ish talent. Really nice for her that she came out of this tricky section as well, beating Pliskova, beating Stevens. And that puts her in a position to, I think, now play Navarro, right?
Yeah. Do we not? Yes, she does. Yeah, those two winning their matches in super quick time. It's actually in the ticker below. By the way, anyone tuning in and not sure about some of the results from today, most of them, or a lot of them at least, are in the ticker below. So if your favorite player and you're wondering what happened, read that. Yeah, I guess it's not clear cut. The general consensus is when the roof closes, things kind of speed up. But isn't Paris-Bercy known for being quite a slow indoor court, for example? And I don't know
but that's
what
more about the court. I mean, Nurlan is kind of asking, what happens on these courts, right?
Like on these courts,
These
doesn't
big
it speed things up a bit?
Sometimes people say that it actually slows
Australia?
down the conditions. Yeah, in Australia, for example. Is it more about the night, in general, or I don't know.
Things can get more humid. Humid is certainly a condition that can occur when they close the roof.
That could be a thing as well. Yeah, I mean,
we're
not talking about like generally indoor conditions because some indoor courts in the world are the fastest you find, and some are really slow. There's a lot of pretty slow indoor venues right now on the tour, but the faster ones you can definitely find somewhere. But yeah, it's not clear to me, Nurlan, either, I think. And I understand the confusion because I've definitely seen a few times that people were talking about the conditions becoming a lot slower indoors on these big arenas. And that's kind of not what you would expect, right? So,
By the way,
yeah,
it's my least
I can't
favorite.
really answer that question because
My
I'm
least
also a
favorite
bit-
season is that European indoor season.
I don't have a least favorite season. I like all seasons. I'm a man of all seasons.
Yeah. I'm watching Monfils Wawrinka now. Actually, I'm just going to depart the stream. I'm not going to be on here much longer because I have to start work in 20 minutes or so. And I'm going to just make something to eat. So I'll be in and out the stream for the next 20 minutes. And of course, we'll have last
by that stage, they might actually be finishing play on outside courts.
On the outside courts, yeah.
So it's possible that there will be no matches. But yeah, it seems like Monfils is just dealing with Wawrinka very comfortably so far. Not a particularly big surprise if that happens, but still. I mean, Stan has had such a terrible year. I would bet right now that he retires in Basel. Because if his results don't improve and he's like, what, 4-10 for the year or something like that, I mean, he hasn't even been playing that much. And if his results don't improve, then like there's no point continuing, right? Like I don't think he's gonna like grind challengers right now. Like I don't know, finish in the top 150 and go from challenger to challenger, picking up points. Like I'm not saying he's above it because he has played some challengers in the past, of course. Marbella when he came back in 2022, I think he lost to maybe Elias Immer there, and also Prague in 2020, which he won right after the pandemic. So he's not above it. I just don't know if I see him grinding like, just week after week at this stage of his career. It again kind of similarly to Murray. It just seems like the body is saying no by now as well. So, but yeah, getting that win over Charles Broom, I guess, is still a positive sign. I mean, he has obviously so much more quality than Broom. But given how his year has been trending, like I wasn't really sure that he was gonna get it done, But yeah, looks like Gael will probably beat him somewhat comfortably, which again was kind of the expectation, I think. He's definitely the one that's still maintaining a much stronger level overall than Stan right now. And yeah, he is 2 years younger, which might seem irrelevant when we're talking about some younger players, but it is kind of relevant when you're 39 and 37. Low 30 for Berrettini again here. So yeah, again, we're back to that part of the match where like nothing is coming easy for Matteo. Actually, we haven't really left it because there was just one easy hold, I think, in this set so far from the older of the Italians. And unfortunately for him, that did not come when he broke Sinner. So he was right away in trouble and actually couldn't consolidate the break. But yeah, 2 sets. If Sinner goes on a 2-set to love lead, I will definitely stop believing that anything can happen in this match from there. But now Matteo should get a couple of good quick points. All about getting to that 6-5 position now, of course. Maybe trying to put some pressure on Sinner in the free hit via 5-6 game. And if not, all about trying to play a better tiebreak than in the opener. But yeah, his chances of winning a tiebreak are, of course, lower than Sinner's, given that he has been losing a lot more points on serve in general over the course of the first 2 sets. But we saw there was one great game where he broke Sinner, so it's not like he can't do it. It's just that on average it doesn't happen. But yeah, great couple of serves here down the tee from Matteo on the deuce side. On the outside, he won that nice point with the +1 forehand and the volley, or like a smash rather, maybe even. And 40-30 now for Matteo, trying to clinch the 6-5 game, which is so crucial for him at the moment. 3 nice points in a row from Love 30. Can he also get another one? He probably will. Yeah, it's a fantastic drive stop volley, actually. Again, kind of picking it up off his stomach. Very good reaction. Great technique as well on the backhand volley there. So yeah, 6-5, Matteo. Jannik to serve after the break. Nothing more in the chat. I see after Nurlan asked the question, which unfortunately I was really unable to answer. This is the Matteo from 2021. Says Nehi with good defensive qualities. Yeah, that one point that he played was incredible. But yeah, Matteo, of course, used to be a very versatile player too. On other courts, kind of struggling with the backhand, but on grass especially. Matthew talking about the Tsitsipas brothers in a first set breaker. I actually forgot that the doubles event already started today, to be honest, with all that crazy, with all that crazy scheduling we've had, right? Arda Güler is the Sloan Stephens of football. Wow. That's something. Problem of talking about Raducanu is that people talk about her in extremes. She doesn't have to win a second Grand Slam. And title to carve out a good forever for a good career for us. I think people forget that. Yeah, I do agree with you for sure. And I see that Snehid is also favoring Portugal at the Euros. How much do you think harder to keep the world #1 spot year in year than keeping the top 10 spot? Do you feel like it's completely different ball game? I kind of think so. I mean, the last couple of years, we're seeing with someone like Świątek, for example, and of course she's been at that #1 spot for such a long while. But especially if you're talking about #1, and you will mostly be battling players who are like getting 2,000 points, for example, for winning a slam, right? And then you win a slam, and next year you have to defend it, and you might lose 2,000 points. So I think it's definitely easier if you're like just like, I don't know, you have about 3,000 and your rankings is like more spread out and you never really lose, that much of it. So I think it is a different ball game. Yeah. Of course, all of that depends kind of on where you are in the field, right? If you're like completely dominating, then maybe for a few years you will get that #1. I mean, Federer had a 237 week streak, I think, of being the world #1. So it is possible, as like no one was really in the same ballpark until Nadal showed up, or at least even later, until Nadal started getting more results off clay. Until then, no one was in the same ballpark as Roger. But so yeah, for him it was easy, I suppose, for 5 years, right? But generally speaking, I mean, if you have rivals sort of next to you, then yeah, it won't be easy. Ooh, Sinner kind of playing with fire here. First point he lost going to the net, and the reaction on that kind of doubles-ish, I would even say, volley, when he was just trying to close down the angle with the forehand, no backswing, just use the angle at which he brushed the ball as the guide. He actually misses it, and now he hits this smash that landed on the baseline, but it is 30-15, so he's probably going to be fine in this game, it seems. Nice serve. Gives him the point again, although Matteo's return was really close. So it looks like we will get into that second tiebreak, and we will have to find out what happens there. It's not looking amazing for Matteo if we are playing a tiebreak, given how the set has been going and how Sinner is like losing twice. Basically Matteo is losing like twice as many points as Sinner on serve. But well, we will find out soon if this match still has a lot in store for us, or if it might be just a 3-set win for Sinner, which, will not be a fully comfortable win. But if he just wins 3 sets kind of the same way he did the first, I still think, Matthew would be kind of right with that then, and it will be more like, well, he progressed, but, it wasn't really that close. Probably, I mean, to make this a match, we probably need that Matteo second set win, I think. Because, yeah, just from 2 sets to down, it will be such a long journey for someone who's been struggling on serve in the last few games, especially. And, yeah, I think it will definitely lower the temperature in the room on center court at Wimbledon. This will probably be the last match going on today. Theoretically, they don't even have to end until it's possible that they will go over the curfew, right? But that will require a very, very good effort from Berrettini. And so far, it's unclear whether he'll be able to provide it. And maybe right now it's clear that he won't, as Jannik Sinner wins this first point. It's a mini break already, and he fires a massive backhand winner down the line. absolutely fantastic stuff. I think he tried that shot a few times already. Most of the time, Matteo was at least able to get to it. But now, I mean, he just didn't even wave the racket, you know, it was just the point was over when Jannik set up for that so well and executed it perfectly. So it's a mini break early for Sinner. Last tiebreak, it was a mini break early for Berrettini, and he proceeded to lose 3-7, I think. So, well, it doesn't have to be that the tiebreak is over, but this time it's the favorite who has the point. So, Jannik inside the court, hitting off the Berrettini slice. They're pretty good. But now is when the Matteo backhand kind of also fails him, right? Because he's set up for these two very good slices, knifing it, you know, superb stuff. But Sinner still raises it to his backhand. There's no time to run around. And then Matteo lacks that punch, right? Just lack that punch on the topspin backhand line or even down the middle here to actually get through the ball and do something with it. Of course, it's a great play if you can set up the next forehand with your slice, but in this case, he was just unable to, as Jannik was still putting it pretty deep in his backhand corner. And there's a fantastic serve from Sinner too. 3 games to love. I mean, Sinner so far has been clinical in these tie breaks, and that's also how the second one is going here. If Berrettini proceeds to lose this in 3, we will definitely be talking about that 4-2 game when he had his shot. You know, he had his shot and he hit 2 double faults. He got broken and did not manage to close out the second set. He's still in it, but he might not be in it for longer. Oh my god. Sinner is going to challenge this. I mean, this is an insane shot if he made it. The Berrettini slice approach down the line was beautiful, but Sinner's pass is even better if he made it. But he hasn't. It's just out. What a crazy shot this would have been. Just given, you know, what sort of ball was coming at him and how much side spin was as well on that slice. I think this would have been an absolutely crazy way to get another mini break and go 4-love up. But eventually it turns out that Jannik didn't make it. Can Berrettini go 2-3 down here at least? Such a good recovery from Sinner as well from that forehand corner. I mean, Matteo was expecting to be fully in control of the point after the +1, but Sinner is just unstoppable. Gets to that forehand corner in time. The recovery, the depth on it is just amazing. So tough to beat Jannik Sinner right now, and Matteo Berrettini, I think, is just now realizing that it might be even more tricky than he thought. 4-1 up though, second serve from Sinner, probably a must-win point for Berrettini if he is to stay in the tiebreak and stick around it. It's not a bad return, and I think he actually will get a point out of it. Yeah, Jannik overcooks the backhand line, pretty uncomfortable position. I think if he took like one more step inside the court, probably would have hit it at a more comfortable angle, but in the end he ends up failing. So 4-2, still, I suppose, with a reasonable chance to keep himself in the tiebreak, Berrettini, but you know, the margins are very slim for him right now if he wants to avoid going 2-love down. Jannik has been very strong. Jannik has been almost unstoppable on serve. And it looks like he might have to give some errors, some cracks to Berrettini here in order to keep Matteo in it, which has not been happening the entire match, really. So it's a nice return from Matteo on the line. He slice approaches here, but yeah, that's just kamikaze, and Sinner makes him pay. Still a tough shot for Jannik to make, I think, but he made it look ridiculously easy. Kinda, if you're in this position, I think you kind of have to forget that the opponent is approaching and just play a normal ground stroke, and that's what Sinner did. And got rewarded for it. He didn't like get scared of that net presence from Matteo. Oh my, And this return from Jannik is gonna land on the line. I mean, maybe there's a challenge from Berrettini. I thought it was on the line. I guess we'll find out now. No, it's actually not on the line. Okay, so it's 5-3. I thought it was 6 to Sinner already. My eyesight is clearly getting worse. I have to put on the lights. I will do it after the tie break. As you can see, I'm already in deepest, darkest Poland today. But yeah, I thought it was 6-2. This wasn't as close even as I thought, given the Hawkeye. And now Matteo finds it down the T ace. So yeah, he keeps himself in it. 5-4, but still has to find at least one more crack here in the Sinner game, in the Sinner serve on the next 2 points, if he wants to stay alive in the breaker. The margins can be very slim, and of course at love 3, Sinner had that very good passing shot that potentially could have been the shot of the match, was really close to the line. The return here could have set it up for him. The ace now from Berrettini was literally on the line. But this time he actually manages to land a line himself. So he's not going to be the most unfortunate player in the world in this tiebreak. He does get 2 set points for Jannik. And yeah, let's see about that. Just 1 point needed for him over the next 2. 1 on serve, 1 on return. Of course, this is the better chance. Where will Jannik go? It's out wide again, but it's gonna be long and wide, I think, both. So it's now Sinner's second serve. Matteo will be trying to be a bit aggressive with the backhand. I mean, he kinda makes it, but it's too short, and the Sinner depth on the inside-out forehand is too much for Matteo to handle. So it's 2 tie breaks, and both tie breaks go Jannik's way. Let's put on some lights, shall we? Let there be light, says Jesus or whatever, whoever in the Bible. Anyway, here we are. Let me look if there was anything in the chat. Oh no, Kirit and Nurlan now both in one chat, and yeah, I'm afraid now. Please, Nurlan, behave. Kirit did nothing to you, if I remember correctly. Monfils up a break. Second set is going super fast. Yeah, maybe Gal is just going to be able to finish even 2 sets today. And I guess Kren, it would be amazing if he even finished the match today, right? Which maybe at this stage isn't that likely, but I mean, he clearly doesn't need the break, I would say. If anything, it's more Wawrinka who could come tomorrow with like a bit of a renewed energy tank. But yeah, in general, I don't think he will be. Hopefully he likes Kirit, yes. Hopefully he will behave. Anyway, 7-6, Jannik Sinner, Matteo Berrettini in this set. 7 aces for Matteo, just 1 for Jannik. Let me rewind to watch these stats again with more time to do it, but I don't think there was anything that amazing in general. I mean, oh yeah, here we have them. 18 winners for Matteo, 17 unforced errors. 9 points won by Sinner more than, I mean, nine more points won by Matteo, by Sinner than Berrettini, which is quite a big deal, right? Considering the tiebreak was 7-4, so it was 6 more points won in the regular part of it. On break points, they were 1 out of 2 Matteo, 1 out of 5 Jannik. But of course, the Matteo break points only happened in 1 game, and yeah, he had that 4-2 chance, and he didn't take it, and that's so far the biggest story of the match, probably, other than Sinner generally being, the stronger player, the one who holds more easily. And that's kind of been the whole thing about this, really. Let me see how the other matches are going and whether they are stopping them already or not. Today there's also going to be last ball drops for you. I think at least yesterday the plan was Vansh and Gilgross, so I hope they're still on it. Monfils up to sets already, so Kren is going to be a happy man. Maybe Gal can finish in 3. Although, I mean, today, but I doubt it. I doubt they have enough time. But yeah, the match has been going very quickly in his favor, about 1 hour, 20 minutes maybe. For the first 2 sets. And yeah, we also have Varvara Gracheva serving for the match against Jastremska. So as I said earlier, like it could be a thing that in a couple of minutes we might only have Kasatkina and Sakari as the remaining seeds in the third quarter, which would really open the door for Raducanu if she beats Sakari, because Kasatkina cannot play her until the quarters. And it will also open the door for Kasatkina, I think, in a lot of ways, right? I mean, Kasatkina has to be looking at this as an opportunity as well. She's such an excellent grass quarter too. There is going to be a possibility for Daria Kasatkina to go on a run here. Maybe there's a possibility for Matteo Berrettini to break here, 15-30 down. Lulu San, by the way, if anyone was interested, defeated Starodubtseva. And there's also that doubles match that Matthew was mentioning earlier with Gonzalez Molteni up a set on the Tsitsipas brothers. As I said, I kind of forgot that the doubles was already on today as well, given the scheduling mess. But yeah, nothing sensational has happened so far there. I think later after Berrettini Sinner, I will probably watch JJ Wolf against Shimizu in Bloomfield Hills. That's definitely worthwhile, I think, as well. Given that JJ is just coming back after a month. Ooh, that's a weird challenge from Matteo, I would suggest. The ball was very clearly inside the court on the Jannik serve. Maybe it was just too fast for him to register. I don't know. But that's how Sinner gets to 30-all anyway. And it's gonna be a breakpoint for Matteo. So, well, it's early in the set. There's no guarantee that he would actually get it to, like, he would actually hold it until the end, right? Just like he couldn't in the previous one. But sure, it would definitely help him out anyway. Third breakpoint of the match for Matteo. Jannik goes big out wide. I think it's a let. Yes, it is. So he's gonna get the chance to go again. Maybe it would be good to like mix it up now, try to go wide. Who knows? Sorry, to go T, I meant, but he actually went wide again, and it's into the net. Second serve for Jannik. It's a very good second serve, but the ball is just a little bit uncomfortable from Matteo. He he blocks his return very well. It drops short, and I think Jannik overcooked that forehand cross court, didn't he? Yeah, I don't think he's even challenging. Yeah, so it's a break for Matteo again. He leads by a break in the second set in a row. And well, I mean, he wasn't able to consolidate his break last time. Now it's kind of vital for him to try to do it. And who knows? Maybe he will get some chances. Maybe this match is still not over, despite him being 2 sets to love up. Anyway, Matteo Berrettini, can you consolidate a break this time? Is going to be the main thing here. And also, of course, can he actually get that break until the end of the set? Can he keep it up? If he was going to win this set, he would be 6-4, right? If it's just one break. So he would not be serving first in the fourth. I mean, yeah, first of all, let's see whether he actually gets a few holds on the board here. But, you know, he's again getting a chance, and it's only up to him whether he will take it. This is not a good way of capitalizing on your break if you're going for that forehand volley here and not getting it over the net. I mean, this should have been just a really easy touch shot over the net, but Matteo doesn't end up making it. Things are gonna get really quite tense for him if he can't locate some big first serves here. It's a nice second, but Jannik still blocks it into play despite having it at the body, and Matteo will miss the inside out. I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just tension, you know. Maybe this is just tension with Berrettini once again kind of just struggling when going up that break and struggling to consolidate it. Maybe he's just really feeling how slim the margins are for him right now against someone like Sinner, right? And he's just starting to play a little bit more nervous, and well, that usually doesn't bode well. He finds a very good second serve. I think Jannik was guessing that he would go the other direction. He actually doesn't. He goes T, and he gets to 30 all. Things are still pretty open in this game though, 30 all. And Berrettini goes T. I think it's out. Not many first serves made in this game, which is crucial for sure, given, you know, the importance of just consolidating that break, unlike in the second set. Gonna be a let on the second. Once again was trying to go body on the deuce side, which last time he lost the point, but, you know, he kind of got what he wanted out of the Sinner return and out of his serve. Hits that one on the half volley, and Sinner should be taking this point, but he just snapped at this forehand. Oh my god. This is a wild miss from Sinner. I mean, he's challenging the call, but I don't think this was close to the line. Maybe I'm wrong again, but to me that was not close. Yeah, it's not close to the line. I mean, reasonably close. I guess you can challenge that, but it was pretty clear it was going to be out. He really just slammed that forehand, and it was kind of into the open court. Like, Matteo was done. Matteo, after that half volley, it just sat up for a Sinner. So it should have been breakpoint Sinner, but it's not. But now that's again just a little bit too like reliant on Sinner potentially tensing up, as in like Berrettini is just rushing the net, and it's so much time for Sinner here to find the pass. He still does very well to get it. You can see how much he would sort of relied on his precision there rather than power, and it's a smart call. But yeah, I mean the approaches from Matteo are getting a bit more wishful thinking, like, if you may. Like, he's just kind of doing it not because, you know, it's a good option, but kind of doing it because he doesn't feel like he has anything else at the moment, which yeah, in the long run is just not going to work. Wins the next point though, very clutch on these two forehands here, and it's actually Sinner who's missing for first, kind of unexpectedly. They're showing something to Matteo, but I have no idea what that gesture was. Something like that. Probably not. Look up to the sky. It was probably something technical. They know what they're talking about. It's not, again, the first serve is out. Well, it's into the net, but you know what I mean. It's not gonna be a factor. Slices the ball for Jannik, who is playing with some really nice precision from that corner today, and gets the point again. So once again, we are in this very, very long game on the Berrettini serve when he's trying to consolidate a break. And well, I don't have to tell you that not consolidating this will probably mean he's out. It will be very hard for Matteo to find a way back from this. That's a better net approach, but it's not good enough. The placement on the +1 forehand, I mean, yeah, it's just not it. Stretching on to the backhand volley, Matteo, but it's, well, by this point the point was lost, I think. By this point of the rally, I mean. Yeah, Sinner had to pass there. Took him 2 shots, but yeah, it was just a very safe combination for him. So again, it's kind of like a, you know, unprepared net approach. And he caught out Sinner with a few of these earlier in the match, honestly. Like sometimes his net approach was seemingly also like had subpar placement on it, but it just put Sinner in that like pretty tricky spot. But these two here in this game, yeah, it's exactly what Jannik wants if someone is rushing the net. But now it's an ace from Matteo, which obviously is not exactly what Jannik wants. And he's gonna get another unreturned serve. Can Matteo Berrettini finally clinch this game and just go up a break properly for the first time in this match, since the first kinda didn't count, given it was not consolidated? One more big serve for Berrettini, or it's pretty big. And at this time, the +1 forehand, that's good placement. This is pretty close to the line, still with decent margin, and he gets this done. So he is 2 games to love up now. For the first time in the match, I mean, he is up a break with that break being, sort of secured, and he doesn't need to worry about it for at least the next game. But after that, of course, there will be the question of whether he can actually keep it up until the end of the set. As definitely over the past 30, 40 minutes, things have been getting more tricky on the Berrettini serve. Luckily for him, they have also been getting more tricky on the Sinner serve. So maybe it's also not the end of Berrettini having chances to break. Who knows? Very good rally here between the two guys. Now it's Sinner who's forced to slice, and what a cannon from Matteo on that forehand. This is one of his best points of the match as well, I think. Again, kind of disrupting Sinner's rhythm, getting to that backhand corner whenever it was played deep with the slice, eventually forcing Jannik to chip and just getting that winner down. Yeah, 89 miles per hour on my screen, which is about 150, I think, right, in kilometers. And he's also in the next rally with a pretty lucky return, I think, but he's not gonna find that forehand. This was funny. He's kind of like laughing about his prep for the shot where he jumped into it a little bit. Like, his feet were off the ground, and well, that's usually not the most stable position, hitting a forehand counter like that. This time the slice return is going to be a little out. I mean, the last point, he found the baseline with it to the exact spot. This time he's not able to make it. Of course, he's kind of, well, not playing with fire here with that, but, he can't expect to make the line every single time. This is a good return, though. Can he do something with it? No, I think he was still guessing, like up until the last moment possible. I think he was still deciding whether to go inside out or inside in there. He eventually chooses inside in, and I think he kind of made the call too late. So 40-15 Sinner now, but this game wasn't that bad from Matteo. I mean, he had some chances, he had some openings. It wasn't one of these games where like Sinner just comes in, hits 3 big serves, and there's no action whatsoever. There's no point play. We just have 3 amazing serves, and that's kind of it. The Sinner drop shot here, and it's much better than it was previously in the match. Well, Matteo gets lobbed, but I think he probably touched the net anyway. So he loses the point 2 ways, if you may. I don't think they're gonna give us a replay, so I can't tell you. What time do they stop? I mean, more or less around this time when it comes to the outside courts, but inside, Ashley, they can play until 11 p.m. British time. So we still have quite a lot of time there. Yeah, we still have about an hour and 50 minutes. So it's only really if we get to the 5th set here that we will find this. Yeah. Curfew is 11 p.m. as the guys earlier said in the chat. Sinner is very tough to beat, but it's not quite the same Berrettini who tested Novak a fair bit in the 2021 WNBA final. Yeah, fitness-wise, maybe not, but he still has a lot of the same grass tools and just smart plays in the arsenal, I'd say. Yes, Raducanu is playing Sakari next, indeed. As soon as I question Matteo, he starts playing well, so maybe he's in need to keep doing that to make this a match. Fully expect Sinner to break back, says Matthew. He didn't on this occasion, but we might still see him doing this, of course, in this set. Has Federer played against Berrettini on grass? Yes, he has. For example, Wimbledon 2019, and he absolutely smashed Matteo off the court there. It was kind of like a lesson that Matteo got at the time. It was like 6-2, 6-2, 6-2, I think, maybe. But yeah, Roger managed to give Matteo a lesson there. But of course, if they played later on, it would probably be a much more competitive setting. It was just like very early in his grass. Well, not really very early in his career, but very early in his top player career, if you may. Match tiebreak Jestemska Gracheva, you're saying. Okay, Berrettini has a proper lead finally, says Snehilia. And yeah, when it comes to the potential noises, that's not that's not something I can do much about, but it should be relatively what am I trying for? Relatively quiet. Nurlan says he can't hear it, so hopefully that's something I'm intending to fix. Let's say over the next, let's say at the end of Wimbledon, hopefully intending to fix if it works out. But anyway, Berrettini now 40 love up. Big forehand here to clean up the points. So yeah, obviously any easy holds for Matteo now very, very acceptable. Matthew was also saying just now in the chat that Berrettini hasn't been in these big matches for a while Sinner has been playing them a lot. Yeah, of course, that's also a potential factor if it gets close. So far, I wouldn't say Berrettini has been doing a lot of choking, but that second set game at 4-2, that was probably his worst service game of the entire match, right? With the two doubles, especially on the deuce side. So yeah, it is a problem. Maybe we'll see how much of a factor that is, basically. And otherwise, so far he's been pretty okay, I think, also from the mental perspective. But of course, that might as well change if we get a tight scenario in the 4th, 5th set. We'll see if we even get there. 5th set, actually, Jannik has a pretty poor record, right? But which player would we expect sort of to break down physically first? Still Matteo. Oh my God. What a massive counter from Matteo here. I think Sinner, will not make the shot. It would have been a crazy point if he did. It's still a crazy point with him not making that, actually. I mean, Matteo just out of position. He just completely slammed this down the line. And yeah, he made it work. Love 15. Jannik still got to it, which was crazy. Matteo then maybe even trying to be a bit too smart about it with that fake dropper, even almost fake dropper, kind of like, setting up for an overhead, but then actually just briefly, barely touching the ball. Kind of trying to be too smart about it, but yeah, he manages to get the point. And now Sinner under a bit of pressure. He is in the rally as well, Berrettini, slicing very well, and Sinner doesn't really know what to do with this here. I think he was trying for a drop shot maybe, but I don't think even if he executed it well, it would have been a good idea with where Matteo was positioned. So it's love 30 now. And yeah, this set so far from Berrettini is kind of, the best we've seen from him so far in this match. There's a lot of rallying on the Sinner serve, even in the previous game, even in the one that Sinner won. I remember saying that there were actually quite a few micro opportunities for Matteo. So things are not coming easy to Jannik at the moment. And it's also going to be a second serve. I mean, 2 breaks he would probably get a set with, right? Can he get these 2 breaks, though? Again, has Jannik just playing off that slice and tries to go back in line. And yeah, I already said something about this in the second set tiebreak. There's a lot of points where he's just slicing to the Jannik forehand. Well, he's slicing to the Jannik backhand, but because Jannik is able to run around it. He just keeps the ball very precise into the Matteo backhand corner anyway. And then when the older of the Italians tries to do something with it, like tries to maybe change direction with the backhand, yeah, I mean, he just doesn't have that in his toolbox, which is really limiting his career. I mean, in general, right? Other than the injuries, but well, not on grass. On grass, he's generally fine without it. I mean, he can definitely escape. And now he actually locks up a pretty nice backhand cross-court return, 40-15. This was right at Jannik's feet. And we're going to have 2 more breakpoints for Matteo. I mean, from 4-1, I think even Matteo would believe that Matteo can take the set. At 4-1, I would really believe he can, yeah. At 3-2, I'm still unconvinced. But let's see if he can get there. This backhand return he won't be making. How is it going on the outside courts is my concern also. Let me see. Gracheva Yastremska, you said that they were in a tiebreak, right? Yeah, and Yastremska won it, so there is still there are still 3 seeds left in the Raducanu quarter, right? Sakari, Yastremska, and Kasatkina. Sinner going down the tee, and I think he's missed it. So Matteo will be looking at this return as a potential chance. Last time he hit a great one backhand cross. This one isn't as good. The slice is nice. Rhyming there. And he directs the forehand around the court. I think he should get this point. Yeah, it's an overhead volley he picks up. Berrettini is 4 games to 1 up. Wow. I mean, definitely not the right mindset of thinking about this, but I wonder if he's also coming back to that second set a little bit when he was 4-2 up. I mean, just thinking, I didn't need to be 2 sets to love down here. But anyway, maybe, of course, that would have gone very different. I'm a fan of using butterfly effect as a way of explaining things in tennis sometimes as well. But anyway, we also have Gael Monfils with a break point, which also could be a virtual match point. So somehow Gael Monfils could actually end the match today. Could actually end it before it gets dark. And I think it's probably on the verge of getting dark in London. I mean, currently it's I'm of course 1 hour later than London time, and right now it's like fully dark outside my window. No one would be even thinking of playing tennis right now without lights. So let's see. But anyway, forehand quality as well from Matteo. Set 1, 7.6. Set 2, 8.1. Set 3, 9.5. I think it has been better, yes, but especially the last point, this break point that he just took, that was just an incredible combination of that forehand, not first inside out, then inside in, and just taking it so early as well, spreading the court in a way that even a fantastic retriever, fantastic mover like Jannik wasn't able to get to. So yeah, it's 4-1 Berrettini now with a double break. If he doesn't take this set, then well, again, he will only have himself to blame. Berrettini said at the net to Roger, thanks for the lesson. I have a serious question. How many Grand Slam matches have both players won? Sinner and Berrettini? I can check that. I don't know. Are you wondering which one has won more Grand Slam matches? I would assume that it's still Matteo, but it might be getting really close, right? I mean, especially the last year or so, Jannik could be getting super close to that. And actually, Matteo hasn't been playing the slams recently, right? I mean, he just hasn't been playing events. So maybe it's actually Jannik. But yeah, Jannik now has 51 match wins at slams, I think. Yeah, I don't think Matteo will have that many, actually, on second thought. But I'll check it. Because, yeah, Matteo had some quarters, had some semis, but of course the final at Wimbledon as well. But did he really get to like 51 at slams? I'm not convinced, but I will check. And Matteo has 48. So yeah, they're very close. They are very close to one another in that statistic. Fonini came through, good for him. Fonini earlier today against Ruud, there was a crazy third set comeback from Fabio. I mean, from Casper, actually, Fabio was kind of choking it away. He was 5-2, 40-30 up, was like outplaying Casper. I don't think he was even broken up until that point. I think Ruud was like 0 out of 10 on break points. And then Fabio made the backhand error on the first match point. Well, in that set, the only match point. And things just started getting so much more tricky for him from there. I think he was even giving the second breakaway with like a challenge where he stopped the rally and fought the balls out. So he was clearly like not in the right mindset as well. But eventually he got the job done in 4. He was definitely the player who deserved the win there. And yeah, we might get 5-1 here soon. Day 3 review will have to be 11 tonight. Yeah, it will have to be after today's play. We usually do it when the play is done. Yes. So, of course, Sinner Berrettini will be the last match on the court today. Sinner saves most breakpoints out of any players this year, says Ashley. That's interesting. Like about 9:40, yeah, but yesterday and the day before, they were actually wrapping things up at Wimbledon a bit earlier than that even. Because, yeah, of course, it's getting dark sort of for usual activities and getting dark for playing tennis is like kind of different. But yeah, maybe today after all the rain, it's just it got a bit more sunny maybe or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, yesterday I think at this stage no outside court was playing anymore. And Matteo cleans this point up with the drop shot, so it's 5-1. And indeed, I mean, by now you really have to expect him get that fourth. You have to expect him getting to that fourth set. We'll see how easy he makes it on himself. Even if he wins like 6-2 from here, of course, he will not be starting the next set on serve. He would, though, if he breaks Sinner here. Anyway, Gael Monfils did not break from 40 love up. So now he's actually 2 points from losing the set in the third set. And it seems like they might be on a bit of a race with time, right? I mean, they're definitely close to that moment when they will not be allowing them to keep playing. But likely, as they were doing with Fritz and Collins, they are probably really desperate for them to get that much done, just so tomorrow's schedule is a little more clear and a little easier to organize for the Wimbledon. Well, organized for the Wimbledon organizers, whatever. The guys who do that schedule, supervisors and the likes. But yeah, 5-1 here. Sinner only one game in the set, and it actually also was one where he was getting in some rallies with Matteo. I don't think we've seen anything physical about Sinner, sort of, we haven't really seen any sign of it. Matteo has definitely played a very, very good set, but it's unlikely to be caused by any Sinner dip, physically at least so far. But yeah, it's kind of surprising the way that the first 2 sets have gone, that the player leading 5-1 is Berrettini rather than Sinner, for sure. If you told me after the second set that Sinner was going to win the next one 6-2, I would have said, yeah, that makes total sense. Some of the breaks that didn't go his way in the second set will just go his way, and yeah, he's going to be fine to win 6-2, sure. But of course, that did not happen in the end. He still might win it, but he won't win it 6-2. Definitely not. Earlier today, we had David Goffin leading 5 love up in the 5th set against Thomas Mahach. He actually lost the next 5 games. He lost the match as well without even having a match point. So, yeah, things definitely can be weird in tennis. Jannik serving at 40 love here. He is going at the body of Matteo. I think it's a double fault, so not quite out of this game yet, but he is still in good position to secure that second game on the board. And I don't know, just see what Matteo does at 5-2. Double break. Of course, he will need some help from Berrettini as well, I think. And Sinner goes to the net here, kind of. Well, I think he just wants to be done with the game, really. That's kind of what it shows you, because this was not the great serve to like follow it up to the net. I don't think so. How about Monfils and Wawrinka? Has Gal paid the price for not capitalizing on that big chance he had at love 40, or what's happening? No, it's actually 5-all, so he got to 5-all, and I guess they're still trying to finish this one today. Someone who definitely has finished their game, and well, I'm only talking about a singular game, is Jannik Sinner. 5-2 up, and after the changeover, we're gonna have Matteo serving for the set for the first time in this match. Wow, Berrettini, he's looking confident again, which is dangerous for Sinner, but still it's a long way back for Berrettini. It is, and we never know how Matteo will hold up, right? I mean, such a high intensity, I think, compared to what he's been playing recently. And well, he's okay after 3 hours, but will he be okay after 4? Will Sinner be okay after 4? Maybe that's also a concern. But yeah, for now, he needs to focus on cleaning up that third set and then not going down a break early in the fourth. There's a lot of love for everyone in the chat. Who are my picks for the title again, ladies and gentlemen? If my pick for the title was Sinner if he beats Berrettini, and if Berrettini wins today, then Alcaraz. Like, that's kind of how I was stating this. And on the women, I picked Rybakina over Keys in the final. I think that for me, the entire tournament is kind of decided by the match we're watching right now. As in, Sinner, if he plays Alcaraz in the semis, I'm favoring Jannik. And with Sinner against with Sinner against Djokovic in the final, I would favor Jannik as well. And the same if Alcaraz plays Djokovic in the final. So that's my logic here. That if Sinner is in the semis, I would favor him, but I think he might lose in this round. If he doesn't lose today, then he probably takes the title for me. Yeah, and on the women's, Rybakina over Keys. Your wild pick is Saki, as in Sakari. Okay, that is wild. That's a good one. Definitely, I appreciate the boldness. We will remember this just in case. Has anyone lost from 5-1 at Wimbledon? Yeah, I mean, I was just talking about Mahaj and Goffin, right? 5-love. Fought on Mahaj today, and actually had the same. I think Mahaj today, yeah, he was what, 6-4, 6-4, 3-1, no, like 6-3, 6-3, 3-1 down against Goffin. He wasn't playing too well, but then he manages to turn it around. I think it kind of makes sense that their match would kind of have these like weird momentum swings because they play a similar brand of tennis. Like, they really take the ball early, and that's their main strength, that exceptional timing. And kind of who was executing it better the entire match, like that guy was ahead, right? So to me, that made a bit of sense. That it was wild, but not that it was this wild, of course. But yeah, Mahaj making it through in 5. I think he would have had a much easier path if he played Mari instead of Goffin, but he actually got a real opponent in the first round. You know, someone who was ready for a physical match, but someone who also choked away that encounter in a few spots. So there was a crazy point here, by the way. Sinner going for a tweener, but it's not good enough. Berrettini picks up the volley. Another good volley from him here, 30-15. So he's close to securing the third set. Just 2 points away now. I will see if there was anything else in the chat as well in the when we have that set break. But yeah, for now, Matteo really threatening to close out that second set without much trouble. Big serve. Ooh, and he tries to go for the forehand once again, just so early. But he's going to shank it. Of course, that's always a possibility and a potential danger if you're kind of going overboard and trying to rush things so much. So now he's 2 points away from the set, but also Sinner is 2 points away from breaking. That's an ace down the tee, though. It's a big reaction from him. I like the attitude, I have to say, from Matteo in this match. Like, he's been so vocal and kind of just like, you know, really looking at his team a lot and clenching his fist. I feel like he's done a very good job kind of maintaining high intensity here. I don't know if it's going to be still a thing, you know, if they go 4 hours, for example. But for now, he's doing really well. I think going down 2 sets to 1, that's not a big deal, right, anymore. I mean, that's still obviously not a position you want to find yourself in, but that's something, you know, gettable. You can actually get back from that. I mean, at 2 sets to love, he seemed done. but now he doesn't anymore. But of course, the margins for him are still slim. He can just get broken once and the match might be over. So we'll see how it is after the break. For now, Matteo Berrettini takes the third set 6-2. Very nice, I have to say. I mean, the entire set from him was like kind of spotless. He had that one tough game where he was, of course, trying to consolidate the first break, but he got out of it great. After that, he was also really good on serve. The rallies, I mean, he was really holding up in them against Sinner here, especially the second break point that he took was amazing. So yeah, kind of a clinic from Berrettini in the second set. I don't think, this has to last, but who knows? Are Stani and Monfils still playing? And now Snehi says that Monfils match will actually resume tomorrow. Yeah, Kren, I do think you have to be a little disappointed that they didn't finish in 3 sets. But then again, Gal is still in a pretty good position. And well, I mean, he also kind of has himself to blame for not taking that 4-all game, right? When he had a low 40. And then they also would have had one more game. Sinners is looking tired, says Ashley. I think he might be having a bit of just a lower intensity time. Let's see how long it lasts as well. Suspended play. Why don't you put them on court 1? They could. They just haven't really been doing it the last few days. But in the past, I've actually seen that from the Wimbledon organizers, to be honest. So... But yesterday when they were suspending matches, they weren't putting them anywhere else. Kren's keys in the final. Is that a weird pick, do you think? I don't believe so. I think she's the second favorite after Goff. And if they played in the quarters, Maddie and Coco, I would favor Maddie, but on grass at least. But I know that she's kind of less likely than Coco to get there. So I'm fine with that. Out of here until Monfils tomorrow, says Kren. And yeah, indeed, John confirms that there's going to be a last ball drops with Vanch and Gill, as was planned. And yes, it will be live. Should I go after Gil Gross and last ball drops? For what? I don't think there's a reason to go after Gil there. Now, finally, we can say that this is a good competitive match. I'm still waiting for Matthew to say something. I'm not sure what his reaction is. I would say that we can, but I don't know if Matthew is also on the same page or not. Because, for example, if the next set is, 6-2 for Jannik, would it be considered a competitive match? I don't know. By me, I think so. And by now, I actually believe that the 4-2 lead that Matteo held in the second set, that also would kind of add to it. Because with that 6-2 set that he's just won, it just kind of paints the picture of, oh, okay, I mean, there were at least 2 sets when we had something going. But I don't know. I'm not sure what Matthew's reaction to this would be, if he's already convinced or if he needs at least one more tight set from Matteo. I'm not saying win it, but push Jannik very deep again. Of course, it's actually kind of likely by this point that maybe even Matteo could win more games but lose the match. Well, it's not that likely. It would have to be a tiebreak literally from Jannik. But it is a scenario. Or it's a 6-4, for example. It's a 6-4 set. And then we actually have them winning the exact same number of games. But it's Sinner winning 3-1. But, well, that's the beauty of the tennis scoreboard. Anyway, Sinner starts this 4th set with an easy hold. Last set, he actually got broken in the very first game. And after that, of course, it kind of just kept growing and growing. Now we will actually have to see Matteo trying to hold when the pressure is really on. And any mishap can already cause him to lose the match. They just had a stat for me on the screen that Jannik is 12-2 in second rounds at Grand Slams. One of them is definitely the Altmaier loss, right? One of the losses at Roland Garros last year. I'm not really sure what the other one is, but that Altmaier one, I think we had in our top 7 matches of the year, which was, I guess, a bit of a, well, I can't say controversial, but I would say not a pick that most would go for. But I'm glad we did. because it was definitely quite exceptional. And one of these beautiful 5-set matches in the early rounds of slams that kind of gets forgotten sometimes. And it's important to remember that they were there, just like it will be very important to remember this year that Mute Shang was a match in Madrid. Not at slams, but in a big event, early round, seemingly inconsequential for the event, but definitely one of the best matches I've seen. And yeah, what a point from Matteo here to kick off the game. Again, just kind of a masterclass of using that slice defensively and eventually getting his shot. It's the longest rally of the match, 17 shots. Actually, I think the previous longest rally of the match was also won by Matteo, who's won a surprising amount of points, like a number of points like this today. I think it was that point where after that, me and Snehil were praising his defensive qualities as well. I think that was the previous longest rally of the match. So again, I'm frustrated that at Wimbledon we barely get any interesting stats on the website. It seems I would like at least rally length. Who wins rallies of what length? Like that's a very basic stat that we don't get there. But I would be interested to see how many rallies over 9 shots both guys won, because I think especially at the beginning of the set, it was at the beginning of the match, it was Jannik through and through. But since the last maybe hour or so, I actually think Matteo could have a lead in that statistic, which actually is somewhat unexpected. 30 love now, Berrettini, good forehand inside out. Ooh, and then he tries to go cross. But it is a bit of a Sinner forced error as well. I mean, it will obviously be classified as an unforced error for Matteo, but it's kind of forced as well with just how well Jannik shrinks the court and how well he covers it. It just makes you go for these insanely precise shots and risky angles, because otherwise you're not going to get him to miss. So, but yeah, still 35-15 Matteo. Good serve, but the Jannik return is just crazy again. This is some of that returning that he showed against Novak at the Australian Open, for example, when you seemingly place your first serve well, but then, yeah, he just catches you off guard anyway with a very deep return. I see an image of a boy sleeping in the stands. Well, unless Matteo gets broken, you better wake up, boy, because this is a very good match. If he gets broken, you can keep sleeping, but Matteo says no, down the tee. He screams something as well. Maybe he's going to wake the guy up, forcibly. 21 aces from Matteo as well. I mean, he will surely not catch Giovanni Pecci Pericard's 51 in five sets, but it could be a pretty nice record at the end of the match if he's going to extend it even further. And he gets the game. 1 game all. Well, I'm not thinking about it yet, but I just have to say, imagine a 5th set here. I mean, it would be absolutely crazy if he actually pushed Jannik to a 5th set, and kind of just the danger that Berrettini poses, thinking about that we have a match which is like so impactful for the entire event, that like one of the 3 main favorites that we have is already so close to going out, and like his opponent is not, I don't know, with no disrespect meant, but like Francisco Comesaña beating Andrei Rublev, you kind of feel like, okay, like the guy can kind of break down at any point, because it was even his 2nd match ever on grass, and he played absolutely fabulous. But I also have zero idea whether he actually will continue this tomorrow against Adam Walton. But it's pretty rare, I think, for a top guy to be close to going out against another massive name, because usually both massive names are seeded, right? So it would be a bit of a new thing as well if Matteo got Sinner to a 5th here, but of course still very far from that. And as I said, I'm not really counting these chickens yet, before they hatch. I'm just kind of thinking it would be a bit of a new scenario. When we have these big 2nd round upsets over the years, we've got Thierry Stakowski beating Federer at Wimbledon. I'm going to just keep throwing Wimbledon examples, like Nadal losing to Kyrgios, Kyrgios was 4th round, but Nadal losing to Rosol was 2nd round. Darcy's was 1st round. Dustin Brown, I think, was 2nd round as well. So it's kind of very different because you got that feeling of like a huge underdog, a guy that probably most casual viewers don't even know, facing that big gun, and you never really know how it will end in that sense as well. Whereas here you would actually have, a former finalist being that underdog. So while he was, of course, a massive underdog pre-match, it would not be, something absolutely ridiculous to like think that, oh yeah, they might hold up. But yeah, still far from that. And of course with Matteo, it's also a big question whether 5 sets against Sinner on this intensity would be possible for him physically. So far it doesn't seem like he's struggling. It doesn't seem like the back injury from the first round is coming into play at all. But yeah, we'll have to find out soon. Did he land this? Holy hell. I mean, this is the best shot of the match now. Matteo with this banana forehand pass. Crazy shot. 15-30. Sinner approaching the net there kind of ambitiously, I would say, but still, I mean, there was no space for Matteo to hit this, and only because he landed it in this particular way, just like throwing it, on the outside of the ball and just making it have such unique trajectory. It's the only reason why he was actually able to hit it. 15-30 now. Great shot from Jannik here down the line, but Matteo is even defending well now. And I think Jannik has just caught the line. Matteo is so disappointed about it. So disappointed about it. I mean, you can just see him just standing there and like, no way. But yeah, Jannik has caught the line with that inside out forehand. Just the very back of it. And yeah, we have a replay of that Matteo reaction, which is pretty funny. But yeah. Could have been 2 breakpoints. Really easily could have been 2 breakpoints. First serve now gets returned from Sinner. Matteo is in the point, again slicing to the Jannik forehand. Switches to the backhand well this time. I mean, he didn't change directions, but he did switch well. And he's gonna have a breakpoint anyway. I mean, he does look on top of Sinner physically right now. I do have to say that. Like, he really looks stronger than Jannik at the moment. And well, can he capitalize on that moment is the main answer. Is the main question. Breakpoint up now, Berrettini. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is something. He is in a defensive position, but he's making Jannik hit some pretty tricky shots. Cross-court counter, Jannik still in the point, running around the forehand so well. I mean, Sinner is just too good in this rally. He's gonna win it, right? Yeah, he will. Fantastic point from Jannik. I mean, that's just... Honestly, he had like 5 or 6 shots he could have missed here. And yeah, none of that. Eventually, just finally gets Matteo on the stretch enough for him to miss. But that was a crazy point. Like, that was 90% of players don't make that one inside out that Jannik hit here. Like 90% of players would have to hit off the backhand here and likely give Matteo some sort of breathing room, maybe some sort of even advantage in the point. I don't know. I mean, we're not gonna know what would have happened there, but well, that's an insane breakpoint save from Sinner. Just the fact that he was able to keep up that pressure because he literally ran like the whole court and found that forehand. It's too good. I mean, what else can I tell you? I mean, it's too good. Matteo knows it's too good. Jannik knows it's too good. And now he has a game point to get us to 2-1. Will this be one of the more crucial points of the... Jesus Christ. I mean, Jannik, I was just praising you. What the hell are you doing? There's a great serve from Jannik out wide, and he has the drive volley to wrap up the game, but he misses it. Well, I mean, that's tennis for you. You can play a ridiculous point where like the 10 shots in a row are have to be like hit with this exactly precise timing, because otherwise you're gonna miss them. and then you miss a drive volley, which I guess it kind of makes sense too, because baseline shots they're more used to rather than things like that, more situational shots. But yeah, anyway, who cares? Game point up, Sinner. This also might be one of the crucial moments of the match that we're coming back to. Like, let's assume that Sinner wins this set 6-3. And then I think the two crucial moments of the match are Matteo leading 4-2 and making these two double faults in set 2, and Jannik winning this point now. Absolutely insane. Still not out of the game, though. Berrettini hits a decent back and return, but nothing special in terms of the depth pace. He throws it out, Sinner. So we are going to be at deuce now. Now it's Sinner with a bit of a funny reaction at missing a shot. He definitely wants to be out of this game as quickly as possible. I mean, he's seeing what's happening, right? That over the last 30, 45 minutes, Matteo has maybe even been the better player. So, well, definitely has been the better player, I would even say, over the last 30, 45 minutes. So, well, he definitely is desperately hoping to get that game on the board. Second serve now. Berrettini trying to put the return in. He does. It was pretty fortunate, but he does. And Sinner can't go back and down the line. So it's going to be a breakpoint for Matteo now. Again, second in the game. The first one, incredible point from Sinner. I will state that again. I mean, hang it in the effing Louvre. Show it in tennis schools. Show it in tennis schools and say this. See this? You'll never play like this. You will never be able to play like this. And it's an easy error now on the second breakpoint from Jannik. It was just about putting the return in play for Matteo, and Jannik misses the +1. So Matteo is up a break in the fourth. I mean, by now, Matthew, we've got a match, right? By now, we've got a match. I think you have to say that by now. Maybe you already did. I actually haven't turned on the chat in a while, but I think by now we gotta say we've got a match. I see. Look at Carlos Novak and Sinner is so far behind them. Ooh, Ashley, whoa. You think that Carlos and Sinner is far behind Carlos and Novak in terms of what, Wimbledon chances? I mean, because he drew Berrettini in round 2, but in general, I mean, Sinner is 39-3 for the year, He's been the best player of the season, no doubt. So, I don't know. Matthew, at this point, you're kind of coping here. I mean, expect Sinner to hit a much higher first percentage in the set and close out the match. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Nice back heel. Football flick, even says Nahil. I think I know which shot you meant, yeah. Sinner will expect to jump on Berrettini now and get the early break. If Berrettini can resist until late in the set, I'll be surprised and impressed. Well, I mean, it's not late in the set, but it's definitely a different scenario. Curfew will save him. Yeah, how are we going with that curfew, actually? I mean, 1 hour, 11 minutes. It's reasonable to think that we would actually have it's reasonable to think that we would actually have a bit of that fifth set played out. But yeah, Matthew, some of your recent comments, I have to say, I think you're kind of getting into this argument. Well, not argument, but I think you kind of are getting into this debate with a bit of confirmation bias and things like that, Because yeah, I think at this stage we have to call this a competitive match. I mean, well, I mean, Matteo Berrettini has led by a break in 3 sets. Matteo Berrettini has won one set, and he's up a break in the next one again. He might lose it, but I think we have to call it competitive at this stage. Just because he is up a break here, which of course is a very long way from actually converting this into another set. But especially now that Sinner's shot lands on the baseline and he's 15-30 down. Still not sure how Sinner is indeed holding up physically. I mean, there's definitely some heavy-ish breathing after this point, but yeah, we'll see how the curfew looks to how this match keeps going. Of course, if Sinner wins in 4, the curfew will not come into play, I think. If it goes 5, maybe middle of the set. I mean, curfew stopping this and getting back to the match tomorrow would also be very exciting, right? But yeah, now Sinner might not allow Matteo to hold. Wins a pretty long point. Eventually, well, I wanted to say that Matteo was like a little ambitious again with that forehand counter, but maybe at this stage he just had nothing to do, really. Maybe at this stage he just, had nothing left in this longer rally and just had to smash the ball like that. But yeah, 2 breakpoints now. One of them is an ace down the tee from Berrettini. Yeah, it's not very light. This is a chance for Sinner, and he is up in this point. Matteo trying to defend, actually doing a pretty good job, but he floats that slice again. He's had a few errors like this in this match, but yeah, Sinner is back. 2 games all. There was this one point that, one shot that Sinner hit really deep at Berrettini, and I thought that might be it, but he saved himself. The forehand squash shot barely clearing the net, but then eventually it's actually gonna be Sinner winning it as Matteo floats that slice too much again. Yeah, these are errors obviously you cannot afford to be doing, and it's not like even a Sinner Berrettini thing, right? I mean, a slice like that is supposed to be a neutral shot, really. You just want to put the ball in play. It's not supposed to be a risky attempt. Great point again here. Jesus, I mean, what are they playing now? I cannot believe it. Okay, so Berrettini missed it, but you guys, I hope you guys saw this. What the hell was that? I mean, Sinner with this crazy short angle on the backhand. Fantastic shot, and Matteo gets to it and actually slices the ball around the net, I think. Was it around the net? Was it over? I think it was around. And Sinner still plays it back. Matteo is trying to hit this like fully on the run, just hit this flat shot down the line. He doesn't make it, but yeah, if he made it, best point ever. He hasn't, best point of the match. That's kind of what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it started with that insane angle from Sinner on the backhand cross, then Matteo with the slice around the net. This might be the first time I've ever seen a slice around the net, to be honest. I don't know if I ever have. Yeah, probably not, to be honest. I don't think it ever really, is in consideration, really, to slice the ball around the net. Usually you just have to play a topspin shot, but it's quite something. But it looks like it will be a quick game anyway for Mr. Sinner. He is 40 love up now. And we currently have 1 hour and 5 minutes until curfew. So yeah, if he wants to go home today knowing he's already won the match, Jannik has to do it in 4. That was just I'm reading some discussion as well on. Well, now Brad Gilbert apparently saying on ESPN that Coco was surely winning Roland Garros if Naomi wins the match point against Iga there. I mean, maybe it's the most likely option, but I don't know if he would be saying this if he wasn't the coach of Coco Gauff. But yeah, it would be the most likely option, I suppose. That's a take I also disagree with that I'm seeing right now, that if you're number one in the world, you cannot lose to someone who hits 95% of slice on his backhand, regardless of surface, opponent, or how good the slice is. Really? On grass? I mean, you can definitely lose to someone slicing your backhand on grass, slicing his backhand on grass. But yeah, that was just insane. That slice around the net here. And yeah, let's see if Matteo can keep going. Now 3-2 up Sinner. We are getting closer and closer to that moment where like we would get Matteo under real trouble, under real pressure, having to basically win the next game to stay in the match for now. Maybe also soon having to win the next game to stay in the match. Let's see how he handles that. But yeah, to me, this match has definitely delivered. And I don't feel like it's been a disappointment at all, is what I'm going to say. Last 10 points, 8 going Jannik's way, just 2 for Matteo. Of course, Jannik has won the last 2 games. Let's see. Matteo, 2-3 down serving. Last game he lost. Needs to do better here if he wants to stay in this. I don't think Matteo has made it, yeah. That was a massive counter from Sinner. Matteo trying to play that banana shot again, but this time not landing it on the line. Fantastic job from this Wimbledon game set and facts, now telling us that Jannik Sinner won his maiden grass court title in Halle last month. This is exactly what I wanted at this stage of the match, not some sort of good stat work. Again, the return is in, so Berrettini will have to win a rally. And he does. The approach throwing Sinner in out of the court enough for him to miss the backhand pass. Down the tee as well. Finds an ace for 30-15. Good serve at the body, and he is quick to see that Sinner has taken a little bit of a, trip, if you may. I mean, he basically almost fell. He lost his balance completely after this return, and Berrettini swoops in with the forehand drop shot. So 40-15, and looks like Matteo should be safe in this game. Well, one more big serve would certainly help. I think he goes wide here. So it's not over quite yet. 40-15. That's a little wild. Sinner putting in the pressure with that deep backhand in down the middle. Matteo trying to hit a big counter forehand cross court, but it's not gonna work. So 40-30 now. Important moment. Can he close out the game and once again throw the ball over to Sinner? Well, gonna have to do it on a second serve, which is considerably more tricky. It's a good second serve though. Jannik not quite getting out of the way enough to like produce a normal forehand swing. It has to be a little bit more compact, and he lands it into the middle of the net. This like elbow pretty close to the body stuff wasn't gonna cut it. 3 games all. Sinner Berrettini in the 4th set. We're way over 3 hours now, and it's just 59 minutes till curfew. So I think we're pretty clear on the fact that a potential 5th set will not fit in. They could also, I think they've done it in the past as well. They could also, like, if the curfew was approaching and they decided to not to continue, they could also just stop after the 4th set. I've seen it happen before, where like they had like 30 minutes until curfew, but then they just don't start a set. I don't really know what the tactic would be from the Wimbledon organizers, but it's possible that they would do it like this. It's not. Ferdilov up now for Jannik. Looks like he's heading into another quick game. And it's only a minute and 15 seconds, in fact, in this game. So it's been record like quick. Of course, not as quick as some of the Pecci Pericard ones against Korda. But yeah, Jannik hoping to secure it. And wow, he goes massive on this +1 forehand. But I guess, he gave himself that option by finding the last 3 points very, very quickly. Is Jannik gonna... Well, he's talking to the umpire about something there. I'm not sure what. But anyway, it's 4-3. One break now could really end the match right away. Matthew, I mean, at this stage, you're fighting a losing fight, in my opinion. Who won the Tommy Paul match? Well, Tommy Paul. I already said Korda, right? A second ago, Ghosty, so I'm sorry for you that you had to hear it. Well, I don't think Matteo has that in his box, really. I mean, sorry, in his arsenal, he like slow the game down and come back tomorrow because, well, he has to win a set first, and that's way more important and way tougher as well. Sorry, Tim, but this is a question that I cannot answer. This is just a sporting event going on right now, and it's up to the players, not to me. Certainly, Sinner is still, favored to win this match in 4, if anything. But, well, it's all open. Especially open if Matteo keeps hitting volleys like this. This was actually one where he could have gotten himself into a bit of trouble with the +1 forehand again, not having that amazing placement. But great reaction at the net. Kind of a doubles volley again with no backswing and just utilizing the pace that Sinner threw at him to close down the ball into the ground. Berrettini slice clips the net. He should get this point, kinda because of it. Yeah, he does. A slice of luck there for Matteo, and he of course says sorry to Jannik. Not sure how their relationship, privately is in general, but I'm pretty sure they will be warm to each other at the net if the match ends today. Well, they will also be warm to each other tomorrow if the match ends tomorrow. I don't think that will impact their relationship too much, but yeah, not sure how much they actually interacted with each other on and off the court over the years. Jannik is gonna fire that inside in forehand long, so it's 40 love Berrettini now. Looks like a quick hold might be coming for Matteo. And yeah, 4 games all. We are 53 minutes away from curfew, I think, unless they changed it for this year. I will actually maybe check that, but last year it was 11 p.m. British Standard Time or whatever it's called. I think it is BST, yeah. But yeah, it's 11 p.m. again, yeah. Anyway, nice forehand slice from Matteo. Jannik still in the point though. Gets that top spin one here. And now it's Jannik with a drop shot. Nice one. 15 love. I think he really surprised Matteo there, as he was more expecting Jannik to go to maybe play a longer slice again. But yeah, it's a good dropper. Matteo caught it before it bounced the second time, but he couldn't get it back over the net. I think he was still probably going to lose the point if he did. 15 love for Sinner. Again, we're in a slice-heavy rally from Berrettini, but Sinner will just clean that up easily, force that error. Matteo deep into the forehand corner, and again, can't really produce anything out of it. There was this one amazing counter that Berrettini hit earlier in the match from the forehand corner, but usually he's kind of done when the rally gets to that sort of stage. And yeah, it's just going to be another quick game for Jannik. 5-4. After the change of ends, we're going to see Matteo serving to stay in the match. A big test for the older of the Italians, as he still needs to hold well at least probably twice to get us to a tiebreak. John is asking me what's my availability for a watch along tomorrow. Good, probably. I mean, I'll look at the schedule later and tell you what's the idea. I think that similarly to previous days, a match at noon could suit me. But I will see what's on the schedule, and yeah, we'll figure it out later, basically. But yeah, this is a watch along, yes. Do you think Iga doesn't use slice serves into the body at all since it is very effective? Is it because she cannot do, or she just prefers that some kick to the backhand over the game? I don't know. Against Kenin, it was, well, you're saying it's extremely predictable, but wasn't her second serve one of her biggest assets against Kenin? Like, she was really throwing Sonia out of the court, and kind of that way she managed to maybe not allow her to attack the second serve that much. But I get what you mean, that against some players it could be very effective just go at the body. I think she has in the past, for example, against Garcia, and with how Kenin was positioned inside the court, it was probably a strategy as well. She kind of went about it different way, and the second serves were a big asset for her, I think, in this match in general. The number of second serves when Kenin was just waiting to strike it, and then it was just out of her range. So, well, it was clearly working. But I think we've seen her do it against some players before, like Garcia especially, where against someone with that sort of court positioning like Caro. Of course, that's a big tactic. Oh my god, what a point! And Matteo will get it. Holy hell, Jannik froze his racket towards the bench. It's good that the ball boy wasn't like there yet. Well, it wasn't that close, but I don't know. It was kind of risky. But anyway, incredible point. I mean, Matteo getting out of that forehand corner this time with this loopier shot. Then he actually has the position to maybe go to the net eventually. And he tries to play a softer backhand drop shot. I can't believe that Jannik even made it. And he even produced a very good shot, sort of like short angle through the net. Yeah, Matteo on the stretch, forehand volley, cleans up the point. Incredible. Net court from Berrettini here should help Sinner, but he cannot produce a similar volley on the stretch as Matteo did on the previous point. I mean, to Jannik's credit, I think it was a tougher spot as well, but he was probably maybe aiming for the other direction first, then kind of had to leap towards it. Not an easy one, but it is fairly low anyway now. I do think that Jannik is not looking that good physically. Like I don't know. He's looking like he's a little like, I don't know, not about to collapse, but you know what I mean, like halfway into about to collapse. It's kind of funky that Berrettini is actually the player who's looking stronger physically. Of course, he's not the better player when it comes to lateral movement speed, but he is actually looking stronger after these 3.5 hours of play. We'll see how that situation progresses. And it's an ace. 5 games all now. Big roar from Matteo, who saves himself here. He is still in the match despite being forced to serve to stay in it. And let's see what Sinner does now at 5 games all. Maybe we're 2 games away from another tiebreak. The first 2 did not go well for Berrettini, but now he is definitely in a better spot game-wise. Sort of, just more with Jannik, it seems, in the rallies and just in general. He's there with the level, I think, more than he was in the first 2 sets. Still, I would of course favor Jannik in the potential tiebreak. I think he's just getting more for free on serve, so that's kind of the most important part of it. But we'll find out soon. Oh wow, another slice of luck for Matteo with the slice pass. I think when John was earlier on the stream, he was kind of saying about a Virtanen pass where like it clipped the net, but he was impressed that Otto got to it at all. It's kind of the same here with Matteo. Like, it's still impressive he managed to play this one, but yeah, of course it was a net court, so it's impressive, but you have to say it was lucky as well. So yeah, first point of the game goes to Berrettini. Plays this nice topspin backhand on the next point, but he's gonna miss the forehand inside out. Seems pretty disappointed about it, but I mean, yeah, he was trying to go like all out on it. if it was gonna meet the line, it was gonna be like no margin whatsoever. So I think that nothing to be that disappointed about here. That was the strategy, and you almost made it. 15 all. Jannik with the first serve in. Actually, a pretty tricky return from Berrettini again because it is so short, and Sinner misses it. Not surprised. I mean, this is not an easy ball, especially if you're kind of desperate to clean it up in one shot. And well, I mean, everyone would be from that position. You have to be very, very aggressive after that, but the ball is tricky, and it's 15-30 now. And again, very relevant stat that Matteo Berrettini won the 2019 ATP Most Improved Award. Thank you. This is exactly what I wanted to know right now. Can you also tell me what the name of his dog is? Or maybe a stat about Hugo Boss, the manufacturer of his clothing and stuff. Hugo Boss was born in whenever. That's exactly what I want to know right now. What we know, though, is that Jannik Sinner hit a pretty good serve. Berrettini can't block it back into play. So we are at 30 all here. This one he blocks into play, but it's not quite as uncomfortable as that previous ball. And Jannik is going to handle it much better here. It was longer. It was more in Sinner's strike zone. It is a funny thing, especially with these, and especially on grass, but also in general with block returns, that sometimes the shorter you go, it's actually gonna be trickier to respond to it. If it's a bit longer, it might just be more comfortable for the other player. And Sinner finds another great serve down the tee, 6-5. He will force Matteo to win one more game to get to the tiebreak. And we only have 42 minutes until curfew. So what I was talking about earlier might actually be possible. I think they might just, like, if Berrettini wins the set, I think they might just wrap it up. I think they might not even start the fifth. I've seen that happen before. I cannot give you the example, but Sinner is gonna get out of this match even skinnier, says Nurland. That's pretty funny. Hurkacz Fields or Harris Shelton for tomorrow, Damon? When's up first up on court 2 number? I will check the schedule, okay? Because I really also want to see like what's happening at the same time. I will check it after the stream and I'll tell you. Murray Steph last year. Yeah, you're very right. Yeah, true. I think it might have been Hurkacz Djokovic as well. At once at all. I think they also were not going up until like, the exact moment when they couldn't. But I think, yeah, Murray, Tsitsipas, Hurkacz, Djokovic, at least one of these for sure was one of the examples where, like, yeah, they just decided to call it quits at some point. I don't think Murray Tsitsipas was 2 sets all. I think it was 2-1 maybe, but I don't know. I might be wrong on that. I think they played more than one set on the next day. But yeah, here I think also if Berrettini wins the 4th set, I think they're gonna be done. And I think obviously it's the same in the other direction. Like if Sinner wins the set, needless to say, the match is done. But I think even if Berrettini takes it, they're probably gonna stop. Who would that suit? I don't think it's clear. I mean, Sinner might be looking a little worse physically, but it's not really reflecting it's not reflected in his game and his movement, right? So yeah, I don't think it's super clear that one or either player would be helped by that. Well, I mean, Berrettini is in a tricky scenario right now, for sure. I mean, again, he's serving to stay in it, and he just missed his first shot. He just missed his +1 forehand. Kind of wild attempt going for that hammer, and he just misses it by a tiny bit into that corner. Sinner's return is on the line? Is it? If it is, it's love 30, and it is, yeah. Okay, this was like a loopy return from Jannik on the line that he stretched due to the forehand from the forehand, and Berrettini makes another +1 miss. So love 30. This time it was the quality of the return that got him there. Definitely no fault of Matteo here. Like, it was just how good Jannik's shot was. And it's gonna be the second serve at love 30. We might get the match ended before curfew. Ooh, but what a clutch second serve. Going at that out wide direction, like, really. And Jannik, who was trying to like locate some massive second serve return, he just can't do it. This is probably the best second serve of Berrettini the entire match, funnily enough. And I don't believe that he even went for it, to be honest. Although he had this one earlier, I guess, when he went down the tee and surprised Jannik. But yeah, I guess it's one of two best second serves in the entire match. And it's 30-all now, after a first serve unreturned to the Sinner backhand. So still a very crucial moment. Still it's match point or game point, but doesn't look as scary as a low 30, just psychologically, I guess. While it's still, almost as dangerous. I think the serve is out. Is Berrettini gonna challenge that? No, it's who's challenging? I don't know if it's I guess it's Sinner challenging that now. Since they moved, And the serve is out. Jannik is right. I thought so too, Jannik is right. That's pretty brutal. The point was already Berrettini's in a way, but obviously deservedly he doesn't get it because the serve was out. Can he replicate that sort of amazing second serve like a second ago? Like, that's Jannik is taking a different strategy as well. He's now standing far back. He wants to get into the rally, and it's a double fault from Berrettini. He goes from ace to double fault in a matter of seconds. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, that's wild. I mean, obviously that's no fault of anyone really. But kind of crazy scenario. And it's match point Sinner now. And he saves it. He saves the first match point and returns serve. Again, puts the first serve in pretty close to the line. Jannik can't return it. So we are at deuce. The match point has been saved by Berrettini. Can he get to another tiebreak? This time the serve out wide is spot on. This time there's not going to be any challenge from Jannik. And a huge +1 forehand winner for Berrettini. So he has secured the tiebreak. I mean, it could be a match that Berrettini loses in 3 tiebreaks, while he wins the only set he won 6-2. And in that case, Berrettini would actually win more games than Jannik, despite losing 3 sets to 1. But I mean, we've gotten a fantastic showing out of a fantastic show from the two guys here. I think that even Matthew right now has to say this match has not disappointed whatsoever. I hope that no one will be doubting Matteo's ability to beat these guys on grass anymore, at least on grass. And I'm definitely very pleased with how this match has been going, and the fact that we are still here and we still don't know who is going to win it after way over 3 hours of action, and very high quality action at that. Nice one for Berrettini here. He actually gets a mini break right away. He counters off the forehand, which is something he most of the time doesn't really pull off in this match. What helped him maybe is that this time he wasn't going for like any risky, super precise, corner shot, but actually just put it in play and got an error from Jannik. Forehand squash shot from Berrettini as he recovers in the next point. Jannik kinda in control though. But of course has to keep hitting through the slice. Which takes a lot from him physically, but he manages to do it. He's there. The mini break has been restored right away. So it's like the second set tie break when it was exactly the same. Sorry, the first set tie break when it was exactly the same situation. Early mini break for Matteo, and then it gets restored on the next point. Although back then it was through a missed smash from Berrettini. So in that sense, the scenario is different here. Second set tiebreak was free love Sinner right away, and then he barely missed that crazy pass on the run for 4-love even. So that could have been a very different tiebreak there. But ace down the tee from Berrettini, 2 points to 1. Nice serve from Jannik. Again, finding that Berrettini forehand return, which has been a little bit like, hit or miss, I would say, with the blocks. But, that's the quality of the Sinner serve right now. Obviously, over the last year or so, he has developed it into a major weapon and maybe the best shot in the sport. Well, one of the best, of course. You can kind of argue whether someone like Pecci Pericard serves better, but one of the best. Berrettini probably serves better, but well, actually, maybe not. I don't know. It's crazy, but maybe not. Never mind. Who cares? It's one of the best. And this is also a very nice rally from Jannik, capping it off with the forehand volley, just barely clearing the net, but it still felt really controlled, and he had a lot of time here after basically forcing Matteo to slice, but from a fully defensive position. And yeah, the volley finish was class too. So 3-2 Sinner. I think in the first set we also had that situation, and then Matteo lost the point. And in fact, I think he lost the next 2 points on serve. So after that, it was 5-2, and he kind of never had a shot at regaining it. So he needs to avoid that here. It's a big serve. Sinner putting this in play is brutal because Berrettini will miss it. Yeah, that's an important error. This is definitely key miss right now. 4-2 Sinner. It wasn't very comfortable, like he was hitting it from outside the doubles alley basically, but yeah, sure. I mean, this is a shot you should be making. This is definitely a shot that Matteo should be making, regardless of the Sinner return. Actually getting kind of uncomfortable just by the fact that, it was high, it sat up, but Berrettini had to run around it from the doubles alley. And you could make the argument that some players would have actually taken it off the backhand, but I think a lot of them would have actually run around it. It's just much more natural to put away sitters like this. But yeah, in this case, Matteo didn't put it away, so he is down a mini break now, and he's also down 2-4 in the tie break. This point obviously is a must win. He didn't win it in the first set tiebreak when he was also 2-4 down and serving, but he does win it now. 3-4. Needs that 1 point from Sinner right now over the next 2 to really have a shot at staying in this match, it feels. 4-3 Jannik, 2 serves coming his way. He's been so good over the last year or so clutch. As we said, the tiebreak record this year not as good as maybe his match record, but it's not like he hasn't been good in most tiebreaks. This match he's already won 2 of them, and he's in a good spot to potentially win more. Is that a second serve now coming from Jannik? I think from the angle that they showed me, I wasn't sure what was happening. Yeah, Matteo tries to hit a pretty decent backhand return deep, but yeah, it's just a complete fail, to be honest. Nowhere near the line, nowhere near clean hit, nowhere near a clean hit. 5-3 Sinner. One more serve coming up his way. He wins the point. He will be in a great position to win the match. Oh my, this was close. Was that a let? I think so, since Jannik is taking another ball. This could have been an ace. It was very close. Berrettini gets the backhand, the forehand block return on the line, but there's a backhand down the line from Jannik. Great stuff. In this really important point, he goes for it. When the block return from Berrettini landed, I was thinking, okay, like this could be a rally that Matteo actually finds himself in. But he plays this rather safe-ish forehand inside out, and Sinner is so quick to step into this. Great stuff from Jannik, really, again. And he has 3 match points and might just win this match through tiebreaks, literally. Well, not yet. Ace down the tee. Matteo holding on. Needs one more big serve and then somehow win a point on the Sinner serve, right? Somehow. And it's going to be over, as this is one of these returns that we've seen from Jannik time and time again over the last few months, last year. It's just one of these where like he barely gets to the ball on his forehand corner. He plays it super deep though, and Berrettini has no idea what to do. He just kind of tries to half volley it, but it's a shank. It's Jannik Sinner moving on 7-6, 7-6, 2-6, 7-6. What a ridiculous match. I mean, that's all we wanted, right? It's a second round match between Jannik Sinner and Matteo Berrettini. I'm going to say 2 of the top 10 players in the draw. I mean, I don't know how far you want to go with Berrettini. I think that top 10-ish spot is absolutely fine. I do wonder where Matteo would have gone, if he beats Sinner today, like how far could he have come? Because there was no back injury that he had against Furcovic. Like there was no sign of it, right? I mean, a healthy Berrettini is such a threat on grass. So many weaknesses that he usually has in his game are just covered up by this surface, like so easily. The slice especially, I mean, you saw how dangerous it was. Sure, it's tough for him to like kind of maybe turnaround points with it, but staying in them, neutralizing the Sinner power, yes, that absolutely is an option. He lost all 3 tiebreaks, but he also played a phenomenal set in the third, 6-2. And well, Jannik just won the more important points. That's kind of the story of it. But in general, Berrettini even won more games, right? Kind of funny, but he did 24-23. I think that this was truly one of the best round 2 matches we're gonna see in recent times. We've seen in recent times, and we're going to see. But Matteo had some important moments he missed out on. 4-2 in the second set. He couldn't consolidate there, hitting 2 important DFs. The tiebreaks, as Snehi says, they weren't amazing from him as well. They weren't as clinical as they needed to be. But in general, I think he played a fantastic match. I mean, just the serve, the slice, it's just a clinic of like grass court tennis to me. And the same way he was looking against Fucovic as well in the first round. I mean, it's just so impressed with the all court options that he displayed and just kind of true mastery of this surface, which is so technical and so kind of like intuitive as well, right? There's a lot of intuitive play on grass courts, and he's so amazing at that as well. Physically, he was looking a bit stronger than Jannik for the most part, but obviously laterally his movement isn't quite there, which Jannik did expose a few times. There was that, sort of if we ever thought that Jannik was going to be dipping physically a little bit, he wasn't really showing it in his movement, in his footwork, in the power on his shots. So again, it never really became a factor, which Jannik deserves a lot of credit for. And well, I mean, there will be a lot of relief today in the Jannik Sinner camp. There will be a lot of feeling, oh, well, we dodged the bullet there. And you did, yeah. You dodged a Berrettini serve-sized bullet. You managed to do it, and now Jannik Sinner is still as much of a candidate to win the event as he was before this match, because I just feel like Matteo Berrettini, he was going to trouble any top seed, any seed in general. As an unseeded player at a slam, you got to run into a seed in round 1 or round 2, unless of course you are on track to meet them in round 2 and they lose in round 1. But any of the 32 seeds he was going to land against, he was going to struggle. He was going to make them work for it. And that's what he did. Deserves lots of credit for this. Hopefully next year, Matteo will just arrive at Wimbledon being kind of like, you know, in a seeded position and having a solid season in his legs. This year, of course, I mean, it's better than 2023. He's won Phoenix, he's won Marrakesh, right? But it's still not like quite a full year. He had to skip Roland Garros, he had to skip Rome, some very important events for him. Hopefully next year he just builds up that ranking, builds up that season a little bit better, you know, doesn't have to struggle with as many injuries. And then he's actually in a seeded spot for Wimbledon. And this match does not happen until at least the third round, maybe even further. And yeah, basically that's what Berrettini should be aiming for next Wimbledon. I don't know if he's quite a candidate to win it, let's say, next year, if that would happen. But he's definitely among the top contenders to go deep. And yeah, played phenomenal today. Couldn't quite get it done. But I think, yeah, he's got nothing to be ashamed of, even if there were some moments when definitely he could have turned it up a bit more. Jannik moves on. He was just as good. He had some very clutch tie breaks, really going into his like Djokovic and mode again. And he's just going to be as dangerous as we thought he was during this Wimbledon. Matteo didn't throw him out, and I'm going to have to tell you, a lot of the players that are still in the event will be a little disappointed today, because especially the ones that are now having Jannik in their draw, you know, they would be hoping that Matteo falls apart physically, or maybe that he's not quite as, you know, say high margin, high percentage as Jannik is. And right now they are thinking, well, how am I going to beat this guy? And that's a good question. For now, that's going to be it. Tune in to Last Ball Drops with Vansh and Gil. And tomorrow there's probably going to be some more watch along content as well. I will text you, John, and tell you what my idea about the schedule is. But yeah, thank you guys. I enjoyed this match greatly, which I hope you heard. I enjoyed talking to you guys as well greatly, which I also hope you heard. And I'll see you some other time. Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.